The NBA MVP race is over, according to 76ers coach Doc Rivers. That declaration from Rivers came after he watched Joel Embiid go 20 for 25 from the field, finish with 52 points in Philadelphia's victory over Boston. Embiid, the odds-on favorite to take home the award over Denver's Nikola Jokic and Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo. ESPN's PJ Carlesimo's glad that he doesn't have a vote.
I don't know what I'd do. I probably would go to Jokic. You watch a guy like Embiid play last night, and, you're blown away by what he's done. I always lean more towards a guy who's on a better team. So for that reason, that's, for me, more pro Giannis, more pro Jokic, and a little bit less Joel Embiid.
PJ Carlesimo on Fitz and Harry. Giannis leads the Bucks against the Bulls tonight, 7 Eastern, ESPN TV. Then is the Clippers taking on the Lakers.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
It's championship celebration day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Parade in 3.5 hours.
Hump day.
Championship celebration at the PMAC in 4 hours.
It's hump day.
Let's get rolling on it all.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Angel Reese throwing shade at the First Lady.
Hump day.
LSU women slanging chicken fingers.
It's hump day.
Swag to the left.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Swag to the right.
Hump day.
Would you expect anything less from a team coached by a woman wearing a jacket with feathers all over it?
It's hump day.
Bling, bling.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Jordan Wright will be here in 15 minutes.
Hump day.
Vandy guard committed to LSU today.
It's hump day.
Cody Worsham next hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Columbia, South Carolina in hour 3.
Hump day.
David Cloninger.
It's hump day.
Talking about the Cox.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Gamecocks.
Hump day.
Muse, you're so dirty.
It's an important distinction
You're
there, Matt.
so
Nope, it's an
dirty.
important distinction.
Tell you what. Sophomoric.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Sophomoric and quite honestly just a little pathetic.
Hump day.
All right, let's get going here. A lot to get to. We saw Alexis Morris take her best rendition of the Joe Burrow photo, right? With the trophy, cigar, all that good stuff. And she was invited to throw out the first pitch at the LSU baseball game yesterday, which she did. Muso and I talked about it yesterday. Muse, she bounced it.
Little one hopper.
It's so bizarre with basketball players. I don't get it. As much, yes, there's explosiveness in basketball, but there's a lot of finesse and precision as well. I don't get why basketball players struggle so much with baseball. It's quite bizarre, actually.
Except for Ben McDonald. He was pretty good.
Well, you have those two-way guys like that, but I mean people who are like primarily basketball players. Yes, it is a bizarre thing. But tip of the hat there to Alexis Morris, who threw out the first pitch at the LSU baseball game yesterday. And as a result, we continue to see this team, the personality of this LSU women's team, which sadly many of us are just getting to know. They had a great regular season. Of course, they set a program record for wins. I don't know that anyone really thought, maybe aside from the ladies in that locker room, that this team was going to win the national championship. But they got hot at the right time, and obviously they were a very talented team, and they gelled together exceptionally well. But what they have done now since that championship game is absolutely remarkable. If you are not following, Angel Reese currently, I'm going to pull up her Instagram at this very moment so I can see exactly how many followers she has as of now, because it's climbing like every time you hit refresh. Angel Reese has 1.2 million followers. She was in the 400,000 range before the game on Sunday. She has tripled her Instagram followers since Sunday. As a matter of fact, Angel Reese, in the 6 hours following the game on Sunday, in the 6 hours following the game, she gained more Instagram followers in 6 hours than any player on any team in the men's Final Four had, period. It is stunning the amount of exposure nationally that this team has gotten in such a relatively short amount of time. You know, yesterday we talked a little bit about the controversies that followed and how it appeared as though the controversies would be over because Caitlin Clark came out, was on SportsCenter, and said, hey, nobody needs to be criticizing Angel Johnson. That's what competitors do. And hat tip to her. The spokeswoman for the First Lady came out and said, and backtracked on the LSU women and then Iowa being invited as well, the whole White House thing. So it seemed like that was over. Well, not exactly. So Angel Reese went on the I Am Athlete podcast and said flatly that she does not accept the First Lady's apology.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't accept the apology because of you said what you said. Biden. Yeah.
First Lady.
The wife,
Lady.
yeah.
You said what you said and you meant what you said.
I said what I said. And, you can't go back on certain things that you say. I mean, you felt like they should have came because of sportsmanship, right? They can have that spot. Like, we'll go to the Obamas. We'll see, I'm going to see Michelle. I'm going to see Barack.
She also clarified. So you heard her say there, like, she doesn't accept the apology. And so we'll go to the Obamas. She also flipped it and said that she felt, we'll give a listen.
If we were to lose, we would not be getting invited to the White House. And I remember she made a comment about both teams should be invited because it was sportsmanship. And I'm like, are you saying that because of what I did? And that stuff like that, it bothers me because you are a woman at the end of the day. You're supposed to be standing behind us before anything. So it's hard to see things like that and not to comment back on it.
I'm not sure that the First Lady said anything about sportsmanship. I think the thing the First Lady said in her remarks in Denver was that it was a well-played game and they both played so hard was kind of, or that Iowa played so well was kind of what she said. But either way, this is one more, though, from Angel Reese, who apparently, and this happens often where dignitaries are invited into the locker room to address the teams, apparently the First Lady inquired about speaking to the LSU team before the game. Give a listen.
Well, apparently she was supposed to come to our locker room before the game, but we said no.
Before the game?
Yeah, she was supposed to come to our locker room and go to Iowa's locker room. I don't know if she talked to them. I don't know if she did, but we said we didn't want to. We didn't want her coming to the locker room. I think Joe Biden had put somebody else to win a national championship. He didn't even put us on his bracket to get out of Baton Rouge. So I was like, bet.
They had an opportunity to have the First Lady come speak to the team before the game, and they said no because Joe Biden didn't pick him in the bracket to get out of Baton Rouge. Like, this team, they don't care. And I'm going to tell you, Angel Reese is blossoming into a megastar before our very eyes. Like, Flau'jae Johnson was well known more so as a rapper than as a basketball player when she did her freestyle that went viral. And so she came here with a massive following. And Angel Reese had a big following relative to her sport, but now you're talking about virality, which once something goes viral, certainly it might run its course. But here's the thing about Angel Reese. Angel Reese has 2 more years of eligibility. Like, we've seen great women's basketball players come through, but like Simone Augustus was a great player. Everyone knew Simone Augustus was a great player. I don't know that people nationally knew Simone's personality. Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird. Like, we can go through the list of a lot of great women's basketball players who maybe the world never got to know them or their face or their personality. The world is getting to know Angel Reese in very short order. This is a meteoric rise, and this is exactly why NIL is so pivotal. Because Angel Reese, who, and yes, she has increased her personal following, but think about the brand recognition that LSU and LSU women's basketball has gotten over the last 48 hours, 72 hours. Really think about that. The exposure LSU has gotten. 9.9 million people watched that championship game. How many more millions upon millions have seen LSU on social media, have been reading about LSU and Angel Reese and the women's basketball team and Kim Mulkey? You literally cannot buy that exposure. You can't do it. It is not possible to buy that amount of exposure, to be so front and center with everyone talking about you. So the brand awareness that Angel Reese and this team have delivered LSU, and on top of it that she's going to be able to capitalize, is almost immeasurable. So yes, LSU is going to win because of this. I don't just mean win the championship, which they've already done. The LSU's brand awareness, exposure, all that stuff. The rising tide rises all ships. But now Angel Reese can capitalize on it as well. And that is a net win, not only for women's basketball, not only for all of collegiate athletics, but for Angel Reese personally. And that's spectacular. I got an email, y'all, today from, I want to read it to you. I got an email today. In this, I get a lot of these. When you do a show, you get targeted a lot by people trying to push guests or information or whatever. So I got this email earlier today from someone at Cameo. Angel Reese, you ready for this? Angel Reese, before the game on Sunday, a Cameo, the video message app platform, a Cameo from Angel Reese before the game was $25. Since the game, a personal Cameo is $100. And if you want a business Cameo from Angel Reese, it's $2,000. It was $25 before the game. $2,000 for an Angel Reese business Cameo right now. Absolutely incredible. Stunning. Congrats to her, man. She's taking advantage of this moment. The world's getting to know her, and she and LSU will benefit as a result. Speaking of LSU benefiting, LSU, Matt McMahon, has landed a player out of the transfer portal. Seem to remember maybe having a conversation about Matt McMahon targeting Louisiana kids to bring them home. Yeah, well, got one of them today. Jordan Wright, former Dunham Tiger, spent the last 4 years at Vanderbilt. He'll wrap up his LSU career. He'll wrap up his college career at LSU. Jordan Wright joins us next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by New Orleans Flooring. You know where to get them. NOLAflooring.com. NOLAflooring.com. 2 locations of New Orleans Flooring. You got the location in Metairie, of course. And then on Airline Highway in Prairieville. We say it every day. Buy where the pros buy. That's at New Orleans Flooring. If you are an installer, if you're a home builder, if you're a remodeler, if you're an investor, if you flip homes, if you're a property manager, if you have a remediation company and you find yourself buying flooring, obviously your bottom line pricing is going to matter so much. That's why you go to New Orleans Flooring. New Orleans Flooring cuts out the middleman. In so many instances, when you go to other retailers, it could have 3 or 4 touch points before it ever gets to you, and that cost keeps being passed on to the consumer. So buy where the pros buy. Go to the place that cuts out the middleman and allows you to save as much as 40%. It's New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations. Online, NOLAflooring.com.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
A year ago, Matt McMahon literally had to replace his entire roster. The lift is not so heavy this year, but you're losing a couple of seniors. You've had a couple of players already jump in the portal, so there are open roster spots. And one of the things we've discussed here is Matt McMahon following a similar protocol that Brian Kelly did, which was looking for Louisiana players and having the opportunity to bring them home. And they've done that. Jordan Wright, the former Dunham star, spent the last 4 years at Vanderbilt, did today announce via his social media that he is coming home to Baton Rouge, and he will play his final season of eligibility for Matt McMahon and the LSU Tigers. And Jordan Wright's good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Jordan, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a good day. Appreciating all the love I'm receiving. I'm excited to be back home, and thank you guys for having me.
Man, it's our pleasure. Hey, let me go back. We'll get to your decision today and how you fit in with Coach McMahon and LSU and everything. Let me go back, though, to your recruitment out of high school. Remind us, what was that like as it pertained to LSU? How much interest did LSU have in you when you were coming out of Baton Rouge back in 2018?
Yeah, not much. I never talked to Coach Will Wade. We never had a phone conversation. We never had any form of communication, so I never really heard from LSU out of high school. So that was pretty much the extent of it.
Yeah. And you were the first class, the first commitment there for Coach Stackhouse, correct, at Vanderbilt?
Yes.
So what was it then that was appealing about Vanderbilt?
Playing in the SEC and the value of that degree. That's what, kept me there 4 years, the value of getting that degree and And also playing for Coach Stackhouse, an NBA guy, NBA legend, honestly. He has a wealth of knowledge surrounding the game. And to be his first recruit, it meant something to me and to my family.
Yeah. And you know the thing is, man, you whenever you entered the transfer portal, I saw so many Vanderbilt fans kind of heaping praise on you, like a Vandy legend for all that you did at Memorial Gym. You had the big shot this year against Kentucky. A very obvious question, Jordan, is why you have one season of eligibility left. Why would you leave? Why would you leave a place where you spent the last 4 years?
Ultimately, I wanted something different. In the back of my mind, I hoped that LSU reached out. I always wanted to come home and play my final season in front of my friends and family and the people I grew up playing in front of. So at the back of my mind, I always knew deep down I wanted to go to LSU.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on what it means to be a kid from Baton Rouge, right, and to leave but have the opportunity to come back?
Yeah, it's incredible, honestly. I was fortunate enough to go to Vanderbilt and enjoy my time here, but to come home and then, finish out the career that I started and do it the way that I envisioned as a kid, it feels good. Hopefully it goes as I planned and it goes the way that it should. And to play home in front of my family means everything.
When you were at Dunham, you've talked about the opportunity to come home and play at LSU. When you were at Dunham, like, did you, or as a kid growing up, like, did you think about that a lot, like watching those LSU teams and wanting to play at LSU when you were a kid?
Yeah, for sure. Tim Quarterman was one of my favorite players, him and Keith Hornsby when they were at LSU. Yeah. I watched a lot of their games. They were two really good players for LSU. And then when I went to Dunham, Derek went there. So I kind of thought, deep down I wanted to go there too. Me and him go there, went to Dunham together, go to LSU together too. That didn't happen, but I was watched LSU growing up from a kid.
Jordan Wright is with us. Announced today his commitment to LSU after 4 years at Vanderbilt. He'll stay in the SEC, but he'll play his final year of eligibility at home. If there was no COVID, this is obviously very speculative, but do you think you would have left Vanderbilt, or like if you didn't have the extra year of eligibility, do you think you would have left earlier in your career?
No, once I went there, I knew I wanted to get a degree. That was the main priority for me. Basketball was cool, but I always wanted to get my degree from Vanderbilt. So I'm fortunate enough to have the extra year to, now come home, but I don't think I would have ever left.
Man, what's it been like today? You mentioned you've gotten a lot of love, but I'm certain a lot of family, a lot of friends, people who you played with and played against have reached out. What's it been like over the last, I'm sure many people knew before you made your public announcement, but it's just been, maybe a little more than an hour now since you've announced.
Yes. I've been on the phone, honestly. I'm doing some interviews, talking to some local media. Just having a question about my decision. I talked to a couple recruits and players that LSU is looking at. That's the biggest thing for me was getting out this early so that I could, hit the portal and hit recruits up to, try to get them to LSU, come to Baton Rouge with me, build this roster out and, get it to where we want it to be.
I want to talk about the roster, but I noticed that when Jalen Cook entered the portal, you gave the big eyes emojis over it. Possible maybe guys from the greater Baton Rouge area reuniting again in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'd be great to have Jalen. Funny story, a lot of people say we're cousins, so that's family to me. We played AU together, and when he was in 9th grade, I was in 10th. So it'd be great to team up with him. He had a great career at Tulane and things he's done in his 2 years there. So if he decides to come back home, it'll be great.
Are you actively, so you mentioned, but are you actively sort of helping recruit this class?
Oh, for sure. Anything I can do to help. I'm talking to as many guys as I can. Now that I'm committed, I'll definitely be more vocal about that and expressing that on social media now. I'm trying to get guys, but, I'm recruiting Jalen as hard as anybody, maybe even harder than Coach McMahon.
Hey, wait, walk me through the calendar as well. So are you enrolled this semester? Well, you have to be, I guess, enrolled this semester at Vanderbilt. So are you finishing this semester at Vanderbilt, then you'll be at LSU in the summer?
Yes, I have 3 classes that I'm finishing at Vanderbilt this semester, and I'll be graduated on May 12th.
Okay, so you graduate May 12th, and at that point you'll come to Baton Rouge to start preparing for next season at LSU.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Couple more minutes here with Jordan Wright. Make sure you follow him on Twitter as well, at JoeWright32 _ JO Wright32 _ Give him a follow there on Instagram as well. The one question a lot of people are going to ask is, you're coming to a rebuild. I mean, LSU had a really disappointing season this year, and I think a lot of people knew what Matt McMahon was up against. So why come to a place where you know it's going to be a little bit of a climb?
For sure. Ultimately, I believe in Coach McMahon's vision. He's expressed that to me since the moment I got in the portal. He was, my first call. I talked to him. We had a really good conversation. He was out to Nashville to see me the next day. And, we've grown a really good connection in a short time here. He's laid out his plan that he asked for me and asked for my input, what I see and envision. So ultimately, I believe in that. And with the portal now, it's easier, rebuild and kind of build that back up. You saw that with Coach Mulkey and the LSU women's team this year, just in year 2, what they've accomplished. So, you can shorten that rebuild, getting some good players and getting some talent. I think also it's going to help a lot. The players have 1 year in the system, making that jump from Murray State to LSU is a big jump. And then also for the players, building some continuity with each other and having a year in the system, I think it'll work wonders for us.
What about, you mentioned Matt McMahon and his vision. When you all talked ball, what did he talk to you about your role in his system?
Yeah, I think the main thing was just he showed me video of how he could use me and where I would fit in his system. He showed some sets that he ran this year for KJ Williams and even for the guards that he could utilize me in post-up situations, pick and roll situations, just different situations he could use me in, where he envisioned me. And ultimately, I agree with that. I think that video for him, just in that short amount of time, I got in the portal on Monday, and on Tuesday he had a video for me just showing me how I could be fit best in his system. So I think, it speaks to the work ethic that they have and how they prioritize me. So
he had his video dudes working overtime, bro. As soon as he saw you at the portal, like, cut this up now. Hey, what other teams? You said Matt McMahon was there in Nashville the day after you entered the portal. What other teams showed interest?
Yeah, Arkansas. They recruited me heavily too. They came out to see me as well. Georgia was in the mix. Texas A&M and Kansas State would have been my top 5 if I had one.
Wow. And LSU beat them all out. The pull of coming home and playing for the purple and gold. So what's the next several months like? Are you going to go through the draft process at all, or are you completely focused on playing at LSU next year?
Yeah, completely focused on playing at LSU next year. Committing to the team and trying to build the roster out, and then getting guys together so we could start this bonding process and getting to know everyone, get a jump start on the season.
That's awesome. Jordan Wright, now LSU transfer, former Vanderbilt guard, now coming home to play his final season in Baton Rouge. Man, congrats on your announcement. We appreciate a couple of minutes, man. We'll be in touch, okay?
So thank you for having me.
That's our pleasure. That's Jordan Wright. Make sure you'll follow him on social media. Give him a shout out. Welcome him home. That's really interesting. You can tell Matt McMahon had it prioritized. Wright entered the portal on a Monday. The next day, Matt McMahon was in Nashville with a video cut up of how exactly he was going to use Jordan Wright here. But you heard him say it, man. It's just the appeal of coming home. And by the way, you also heard him talk about recruiting Jalen Cook as well. And I know Jalen Cook started his career at LSU. We know what happened. Will Wade brought in Cam. Cam was awesome. Jalen Cook transferred out, went to Tulane. He's become all-conference there. Jalen Cook's now in the portal. He's also going through the draft process. But it's more than likely that Jalen Cook's going to play another year of college ball. And I told y'all this when Jordan Wright entered the portal, that I was going to be very surprised if he ended up anywhere other than LSU because there was this pull home. And I'm telling you that's also true for Jalen Cook. And there's potentially other guys as well. So with Cook, he would need a waiver. He would need a waiver to be immediately eligible because he already transferred once. But I think they'd be confident in their ability to get that waiver if, in fact, it played out that way. So just file that away. Jordan Wright going to finish up his college career at LSU. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us here. Brought to you by Mold Zero USA. Mold-0USA.com. Mold-0USA.com. If you got mold, don't worry about it. If you got mold, don't call other remediation companies. Don't think you got to cut sheetrock and pull out carpet and get your family out of the house. Mold Zero, this is quick. This is easy. I mean, this isn't a days-long intrusive process. This is literally get out of the house or the apartment complex or the building, whatever it is. They'll come in. They'll close everything up. They'll spray their patented non-toxic dry fog because it's a fog. It gets into every nook and cranny. It kills the mold. As soon as the fog dissipates, boom, you're back in your home, office, whatever, free and clear. Safe for pets, safe for your family, safe for your plants, everything. You don't have to move furniture out. It's just going to kill the mold. Mold Zero. It'll save you thousands compared to other remediation opportunities. Mold-0USA.com. Online, mold-0USA.com. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. Get your thought on LSU baseball, which beat Nichols yesterday 12-2. They ruled them in 7. Tigers are going to be wheels up today to Columbia, South Carolina. They'll take on the Gamecocks in a 3-game series starting on Thursday. David Cloninger from the Post and Courier is going to be with us. Good friend of the show, has been for a lot of years. He'll be with us to start hour number 3. We'll get a closer look at the Gamecocks. Okay, quick break. We'll come back. We'll go around the SEC. Stay here.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Of course, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Do you realize the very first NIL deal the Gordfather did was with Alexis Morris? It was the very first one. Of course, did a deal with the entire Lady Tiger basketball team. Kim Mulkey as well. Gordon has been a great supporter of women's athletics and certainly the women's Tigers basketball team. I don't think I can say the 3 letters, but you know what I'm saying. Been a great supporter of so many other programs at many different places. But as we celebrate the Tiger National Championship, Gordon certainly deserves a big hat tip at the center of all that as well. And look, if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Call Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. 888-8888, 888-8888, or go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon on all the social media. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd
at the Ochsner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown, presented by Ochsner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
All right. Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and the Baton Rouge Clinic bring you the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Dreams Come True is an organization designed to help grant dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses and their families. The Dreams Come True Radiothon is presented today by Service Chevrolet and the law offices of O.C. Brown. You can donate today at 1045ESPN.com.
One of the reasons, or I guess this is one of the things of now being like in a, I don't know, leadership role, whatever. Are you getting all these emails?
What emails?
Okay, so I've gotten, I'm getting a bajillion Guarantee Media emails saying new donation. So this must be every time there's a Dreams Come True donation, I'm getting an email notification. Do you have...
Yeah, I'm not getting those.
Well, you aren't the program.
You asked me if I was getting them.
Well, it was a rhetorical question there, Muse. So I knew the answer to the question. Anyway, do you have the talking points right now? Because in this 3 o'clock hour, do you have the Pluckers talking points?
I don't have the talking points for it, but what Cade texted me earlier is any donation from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. today earns also a Pluckers gift card for $25.
So that's clearly why we're getting this dump of donations right now, which is awesome. So please go donate to the Dreams Come True Radiothon right now. If you do so in the 3 o'clock Central Hour, so you have 26 more minutes. Anybody who donates during this hour will get a $25 Pluckers gift card. So if you can donate, great time to do it, and you're also entered in for all the great prizes and stuff. Right? Did you read that part? There's giveaways. There's copy. Please get the copy points so we're accurate on it. But Dreams Come True Radiothon is something we talk about every year, and it's our one big station-wide, actually company-wide fundraiser that we do. And Dreams Come True is an organization that helps grant dreams for children fighting life-threatening or terminal illnesses, and allows them to do, have whatever dream it is. If it's Disney, if it's to meet a star, whatever it is. Miss Becky and her team make it happen. So we're thrilled to be a great partner with Dreams Come True and have been for a long time. So if you can donate, please do so. Go to 1045ESPN.com. All right, LSU baseball got a win last night. Tommy White hit a couple of bombs, a 2-run bomb and a 3-run bomb. He's the first Tiger to double-digit homers this year. He's now sitting at 10. You saw a parade of LSU relievers. They run-ruled Nichols 12-2. The headliner had to be Gavin Guidry, who entered in a little bit of a bind, got the strikeout, and through an inning and a third was actually pretty awesome. He ended up striking out 3, no walks, no hits. He was pretty awesome. Here was Jay Johnson after the game on the job Gavin Guidry did.
When you go watch that guy pitch in high school, he's probably the best pitcher in the state of Louisiana last year, and he's got a unique pitch mix that we could really use on this staff. He's a little bit different than our other guys, and so we got his arm in shape and took time to do that, and really like the contribution he's making on the mound right now.
So that emergence could be significant. There's things we thought we knew about this bullpen coming into this year that haven't quite manifest. That's one that we weren't sure that might actually be developing into something really good. The disappointing part last night was they did get Thatcher Hurd back on the mound, and again, Thatcher Hurd struggled. So, man, I know we've had this conversation enough now, and we had it earlier this week after Thatcher Hurd struggled over the weekend again in the start, but against Tennessee, didn't record an out. But the problem that's persisting is he's really struggling just to put the ball over the plate. And when you keep getting behind in counts, you're walking guys, or you're in hitters' counts where you're forced to throw strikes and guys are squaring him up. So Hurd last night pitched 1 inning. He gave up 1 run on 2 hits, and he walked 2 more. I mean, you got to be able to put the ball over the plate. This is what he's not been able to do right now. Until he can, I don't know how you trust him in big spots. So they did send us the South Carolina, the LSU South Carolina media information, and it'll be Paul Skeens, Ty Floyd, Christian Little is going to get the start in Game 3 of this week for LSU. So Hurd has been bumped out of that spot. They'll go with Christian Little. South Carolina has a TBA for Game 3, but LSU with a big opportunity on the road against a top 10 Carolina team this weekend. Actually ranked number 3 in the country after this past weekend. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online. SouthPointVW.com. That's SouthPointVW.com. I always mention the new Volkswagens, but remember, certified pre-owned as well. If you're in the market for a certified pre-owned, a used vehicle, shop all the used vehicle lots, but make sure you shop South Point Volkswagen as well, because when people come in and they trade in their used vehicle to buy their new Volkswagen, you can benefit. So, got a great selection, all different makes and models. Check them out at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. For South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Guard Jaden Bradley has entered the transfer portal. He was a 5-star recruit, McDonald's All-American in the 2022 class. He was the number 26 overall player in the country. So he's the second Bama player to hit the transfer portal, joining Damari Burnett, who already transferred to Michigan. Bradley finished the season averaging 20 minutes per game in 37 appearances.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Ugonna Onyeso is someone John Calipari said he thought would be one of the best big men in the country next year. Well, he'll be one of the best big men in the country elsewhere. He entered the transfer portal, played in just 16 games this past year for the Wildcats. Jonathan Givony at ESPN has Onyeso already mocked as the 40th overall pick in the 2024 draft. He was a 5-star prospect in 2023. He reclassified for the class of 2022. Onyeso is the 6th member of the Kentucky roster to hit the portal.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Another Vanderbilt Commodore has hit the portal as well. Quentin Malora-Brown entered the portal on Wednesday. Started 65 games for Vandy over the past 3 seasons, having previously transferred in from Rice. As a grad transfer, he'll be eligible immediately wherever he plays next. Vandy has lost 6 players to the portal as well, and has just 4 returning scholarship players.
The Florida Gators.
Florida has landed a commit from top 100 quarterback Austin Simmons. He's for the class of 2025. Napier already has DJ Lagway committed at quarterback for the class of 2024. Simmons is a 4-star, 6'2", 180, the number 56 overall player in the country, the 6th best quarterback.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And LSU's headed to Columbia to take on the Gamecocks. They've had a rough run of injuries here the past couple of weeks. Mark Kingston updated several of them. Will McGillis, who's been battling an arm injury. Carson Hornig, who has a foot injury. And Noah Hall, who's dealing with a back injury as well. Hornig likely returns this weekend as a DH. McGillis is on track to return in about 4 to 6 weeks. And Kingston right now non-committal on Hall's status. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. You know where to find them. GCOPnet.com. GCOPnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales service after the sale. Ask about interactive whiteboards. I mention it often. These became immensely popular during COVID. You need to stay in touch with employees or customers remotely. You can do so with interactive whiteboards. GCOPnet.com. All right, let's knock out a break. When we come back, Taylor Calandro from Calandro's will join us. A little Bourbon Dictionary. Get your booze questions in. We'll do that next on AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. And because Easter's this weekend, it reminds me of the story that I often tell, where 2 years ago, Easter Sunday, we went to our family's crawfish boil. And when we got home, it was hot in the house. AC had broken. So I figured, let me call so I can get at least front-of-the-line service for Monday. I did not get front-of-the-line service for Monday. I had a real living, breathing human answer the phone, and I had a technician at my house after 5 o'clock on Easter Sunday. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Nights, holidays, weekends, they'll always come out. They'll never charge you extra to come out. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. Amy Landrino sent a 5-star Google review. Cole, the technician, was excellent. Came out late, resolved our issue quickly. 5-star review. Another one from River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. Call 752-0001, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. The woman who brought down Plaquemine Police Chief Kenny Payne is suing him and the city of Plaquemine, alleging her constitutional rights were violated. She says Payne crossed the line with her and demanded oral sex after her boyfriend's arrest. It led to Payne's resignation and conviction for malfeasance in office. Now we've learned the feds are looking into this case. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring, wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, and check out New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and Prairieville, or NOLAFlooring.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to...
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. We do it every single Whiskey Wednesday. Welcome aboard Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Director from Calandro's, to answer all your booze questions. How are you, dude?
I'm good, Matt. It's whiskey. It's Masters Whiskey Wednesday.
I guess. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the Masters is fine. It's great, but, whatever.
There will be no slander of that sort.
I don't believe it's slander. It's just, that's whatever. I mean, it's a golf tournament. It's nice. It's pretty, and people tune in. And that's great. It's golf. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it'd be better if Tiger Woods was good and people would actually care, but instead someone else will win that we don't really care about. Hopefully it's Sam Burns, and I care.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's talk about booze.
That's way better than talking about golf. Okay. So, by the way, Taylor and I are both proud Catholic High alums, as is Josh.
Absolutely.
As is Josh Smith. Did you see what happened to Josh Smith this week?
I saw him take one off the jaw.
He did. Well, the Orioles sent him a bottle of Get Well whiskey.
What was it?
I don't know. So, you know what? Here's my. Should I text Josh, or is that just kind of rude to be like, hey man, what whiskey did they send you? I mean, should I at least be like, hey,
you should definitely text him and ask him, because I mean, I want to see when somebody gets hit in the side. I don't even know if it was a fastball, but like I don't even know what bottle of whiskey would quantify an apology for that.
It was 89 miles an hour. I'm looking right here. It says it was a sinker.
Fast enough. That's plenty fast enough. I've been hit by 95 in the back, and it hurts like heck. I can't imagine the jaw.
89 in the jaw. Oof. Anyway, what would you
Get
want?
well, man.
What whiskey would you want for taking 89 in the jaw?
I wouldn't want a whiskey, but I'd get a really good lawyer.
Oh, come on. What are you going to do there? You know what you should do?
I don't know.
You should get Gordon. Get Gordon and get it done, Taylor. That's what you should do. I'd be curious to know what he did. All right, I'll shoot him.
I would too. I would too because I don't know what they could possibly send that I would be like, man, this is awesome. This makes up for breaking my face.
All right, I'm literally texting him. I haven't texted him since he got hit. What do you say? Hey, man, glad.
Hey, how was your jaw? What did the Orioles send you for breaking your face? Did he break his jaw?
He got stitches. I don't think he broke his jaw, but he got stitches.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter today. I heard about it the other day, but I saw it on Twitter today. It was nasty. And he took it straight off the chin for sure, man. He's a strong Catholic cowboy, though. He'll get through it.
Yeah. All right, what's new over there at the store, man?
We got a big Lux Road drop at the end of the week last week. We got some Blood Oath Packed 8, which if you haven't had Blood Oath Packed 8, it is one of the best Blood Oaths. The 14-year high rye, 11-year high rye, and an 8-year finished in Calvados barrels, apple brandy barrels. It is absolutely fantastic. That's $120. We don't have a ton of it, so if you go over there tomorrow, it probably won't be there. We got some Ezra Brooks 7-year too, and as well, and that's a really good little pour too for $50.
All right, I texted Josh.
That's a strong flex too, by the way.
What?
Just texting MLB guys on air.
Well, no, come on, man. Like he played at LSU, he's always been really good to us on the show. Whenever I've asked him, he's always been kind enough to come on during COVID. He did one of the weirdest segments ever. Was like during COVID, he was in the minors with several other guys, and they were like posting workout videos where they were doing do you remember this was like random in-home work? They were like pushing cars and things like just whatever they could do to stay in shape while everybody was in lockdown.
That sounds like minor league baseball.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's probably pretty standard for minor league baseball anyway.
Those guys got it rough, man. I don't think people understand how rough minor leaguers have until they get to the big show.
Yeah, man. No, Josh. Yeah, Josh is a great dude, though, man. So, I'm when he can help me back. I just hate to blow up his phone. I'm sure he's blowing up because you get hit in the face with the baseball. A lot of people are concerned, but anyway. All right. All right. If you got a question,
and want to know what bourbon you got as a gift. Too.
Yeah. Well, I didn't ask him about the bourbon question yet, but now that I'm doing this on air, so it's eventually going to get back to him. But I wish him a speedy recovery. If he replies, I'll ask him about the whiskey. How about that?
And if it's terrible, then we're going to have to hook him up with something.
Yeah. Well, we could probably do that anyway. Maybe I'll do. Maybe I'll send him a better get well whiskey than whatever they sent him. That'll be my deal. Yeah. I'll send him something better than whatever Baltimore sent him.
It depends on what the Orioles sent, and then we'll have to gauge it and then see what we need to send to them. So,
are we officially into spring beer season?
Yeah. I mean, I'm starting. There's more things new coming through the door across the board right now in the past couple of weeks. Beer too. We just got a double IPA from Gnarly Barley. Castle's made of clouds.
Okay.
It's got lactose and oat in it. It's really silky. I've had it. It's really fruity too. I mean, it's typical hazy double IPA.
Love it.
But those beers are starting to flow in right now. So.
Okay. What's a good crawfish beer?
I say it every year. I love Miller Lite.
No judgment, man. Do what you do. Hey, what are you dinging over there? Musso. What are you dinging, Musso? Because I guess he likes Miller Lite.
The Miller Lite, man. Let's go.
Oh, okay. And like I like just like a regular pale ale or maybe like a light little sour, one of the parish sips. I love drinking those with crawfish too. I like little sour, fruity sours with spicy food.
John Wilson said, have you tried Juvie Juice yet? That's the juvenile beer, right?
Yeah, that's Urban South, and it has not reached Baton Rouge yet. I don't know if it is coming to Baton Rouge or not, but I did see that Juvenile did a beer with Urban South out of New Orleans. So I think it's supposed to become distribution. I haven't had it yet, though.
All right, we got to go. We wasted a lot of time talking about Josh Smith getting hit with whiskey. He got,
hey, I enjoyed it, man.
But I did as well. Have a great Easter. We appreciate it as always, man.
Happy Easter, man. Thanks.
All right, that is Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. Joins us here on Whiskey Wednesday for a little Bourbon Dictionary every week. We'll see if we can get to the bottom of what whiskey the Orioles gifted Josh Smith after he's hit in the face with a baseball. My goodness. Thank God he's okay. Like, sincerely, just thank God he's okay. All right, it's after further review. The Saints are working out another quarterback in this draft. We're talking about that after Sports Center.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd.
At the Ochsner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown presented by Ochsner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
All right. Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Amid the standoff with quarterback Lamar Jackson, Ravens GM Eric DeCosta acknowledged today the possibility the team could select a QB in the first round of the upcoming NFL draft. The Ravens would not answer any questions about Jackson, who has asked for a trade. After watching Joel Embiid's performance in the 76ers win over the Celtics, Philly coach Doc Rivers declared the NBA MVP race is over, and it's no secret why Embiid's currently the odds-on favorite to win the award, according to Rivers.
The 52 points were huge. The efficiency, 20 for 25, the rebounds, the assists, the game-changing shots defensively. You know, you're sitting there as a coach, and you say, this is what an MVP looks like to me. And so that's why I said it.
Doc Rivers on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. More on the NBA when ESPN's Dave McMenamin joins Canty and Carlin in 10 minutes. Bucks clinch the East 1 seed with a win tonight over the Bulls. Coverage at 7 Eastern on ESPN TV. That matchup is followed by the Lakers and Clippers. The status of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and D'Angelo Russell uncertain at this point for the Lakers.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Mute. So. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Cody Worsham from LSU set to join us in 15 minutes, but he just texted me. Closing on a house, hoping to be done in time, but it ran long. There was a typo on the loan paperwork. Look, there's been a lot of reasons over the years why guests look, stuff happens. I mean, this is live radio. It's real life. Stuff happens. People get in car wrecks, or people run late, or people have their phone on silent, or any number. They go to the doctor, they get sick, they fall asleep. Lots of things happen. It's live radio. That's probably a first, though. Hey, man, might be a little late. Closing on a home, ran a little long, typo on the loan, but we'll try to get done anyway. I wanted Cody to come on the show because I wanted some sort of quantitative analysis behind the impact of this LSU women's championship. We'll talk about all the stuff, right? We'll talk about the parade and the celebration, but we can look at like the television numbers. I can look at Angel Reese's Instagram following, and there's a lot of things there that suggest, yeah, man, a lot of people are paying attention. But what does it meant for LSU in 72 hours? So we'll talk about that with Cody coming up in about 15 minutes, provided he's done with his home loan and closing on the house. All right, it's after further review. Man, if this happens, this would be so cool. Last week, actually 1 week ago today, is when we found out that Foster Moreau had been diagnosed with lymphoma and was taking a leave from football to be able to fight this battle, and then said he fully planned to come back to football. That return may come sooner than we think. Foster Moreau was back at the Saints facility on Tuesday. He was finishing his physical that he started last week, where they diagnosed him with lymphoma. And apparently, Foster Moreau is optimistic that if things go well and his treatment goes well, he could play this season. And so, and this would be apparently whatever optimistic timeline that doctors have given him, it could play out that he plays this season. Kat Terrell reported, it's possible that the Saints or a team like New Orleans could sign him and put him on the non-football injury list until he's cleared to play. So, and by the way, if you're put on the non-football injury list, you don't count against the 53-man roster. So, if you're on the non-football injury list, you could be activated as early as week 5. So, if Foster, keep in mind, y'all, it's April the 5th. May, June, July, August, September. You'd be talking about end of September, beginning of October. You'd be talking about 6 months. 6 months from now, it's conceivable, if treatment goes as it's supposed to, and then Foster Moreau can get back into shape, he could be activated by October. So, listen, first of all, most importantly, I think this speaks volumes about Foster Moreau's drive, doesn't it? Not that any of us denied that or wondered about that. He was number 18 at LSU. Everything that we all saw about him, his character, being the last member of LSU signing class and having the career he did, being a drafted player, now playing in the NFL, that shouldn't surprise anybody. But it's cool to see that manifest here as he's battling cancer, saying, look, I'll go finish my physical, and if we can do a deal, and be active whenever I can be active. Also very cool by the Saints to say, yeah, let's keep walking this road. Because it could have been very easy for them to say, we're going to take a pass. We're going to take a pass, get your stuff right, and then maybe we'll revisit it another time. The big question, though, and again, most importantly, to completely qualify this so everybody knows, the most important thing is Foster Moreau is healthy, that he makes it through this battle with lymphoma. He gets the treatment he needs, and thank God for doctors and all the medical advancements that are going to allow Foster to be able to fight this. That is the most important. I think I've said it many times, but of course that matters the most. But when you specifically look just at an on-field approach, it's worth asking, do the Saints still sign Foster Moreau? And if they do, are they still looking for a tight end elsewhere? Remember, we've seen a lot of mock drafts that have the Saints drafting a tight end. You've got Jawan Johnson, who you already re-signed this offseason, and you've got Adam Troutman on the final year of his rookie deal. If you sign Foster Moreau, and again, it's an if right now, but if you sign Foster Moreau and he's not available until at the earliest week 5, being on the non-football injury list, are you comfortable going into the season with Johnson and Troutman and that's it? Or do you feel like you have to go draft a tight end? Are you looking somewhere else in free agency for a tight end? I don't know. Those are the type of football questions that the Saints, a front office, all would have to answer if they decide to do this deal and ultimately make a decision that they're going to sign Foster Moreau. But for all the reasons that we talked about when they first brought him in for a visit, I like Foster Moreau. He is your traditional tight end. He is your traditional attached tight end that can block, that can help you in the running game. That's a good pass catcher. That's a great teammate, good locker room guy. And he was in both Oakland and Las Vegas with Derek Carr, so your starting quarterback knows the player can vouch for him. And he's coming home to New Orleans. All those things make sense. So I love it. It makes tons of sense. Obviously, provided Foster's healthy, which we all want him to be. But if he's not available until he comes off the non-football injury list, which would be at the earliest week 5, do you still think you have to address tight end elsewhere? And if you do, what does that mean about Adam Troutman and his future in New Orleans? That may be the writing on the wall. So something worth keeping an eye on as we move forward. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Oh, by the way, TractionSports.com. Traction next week, y'all. Next week is Easter. All the kiddos are out of school for Easter next week on spring break. If you're going to work and your kids aren't going to school and you need something to do with them, how about have them get better? Bigger, faster, stronger, skills training as well. They got the Easter baseball camp and the Easter speed camp. So if you got a young athlete ages 10 and up, the Easter speed camp is what you're looking for. If you got a baseball player age 5 to 10, the Traction baseball camp. You got full and half day options. look, you're going to be training with, your son or daughter will be training with the experts at Traction that train all the pro athletes and collegiate athletes that come through there. If you want to improve baseball skill or strength, speed, performance, Traction can do it next week. Most importantly, of course, great place for your kiddos to go to get better while they're off of school and while you're at work. TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. The Easter camps are next week. It's not too late. Space is limited, but it's not too late to sign up your son or daughter if you want to get them in these Traction camps for next week. Just go to TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com, Traction, where champions are made. Let's see. Let me do this. We're supposed to have Cody when we come back. He texted me that he should be okay, but we can maybe rearrange some things on the rundown. And I do also want to talk about the other quarterback. We talked earlier this week, the Saints had Hendon Hooker in the facility. Well, they're bringing another quarterback in this draft class into New Orleans this week, and we'll talk about him too. So let me knock out a quick break, and we'll continue here on a Hump Day edition of AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. So Easter is this weekend. If you're going to be having family over for Easter, let Rouse's help you polish off Easter dinner with some great options. If you need all the fixins, if you want to complete your Easter dinner, Rouse's can help like they do with all the holidays. They have the order guide. Just go to rouses.com and you'll see it right there on the homepage. You'll complete your Easter dinner. It's all right there at rouses.com. So you can see the order form that they have. It's very easy to fill out. Just go to rouses.com, rouses.com. If you want the turkey dinner, the spiced ham, the turkey breast, they got all the sides as well. You can do a la carte. It's all right there at rouses.com, rouses.com. Official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, and Rouse's are everywhere. They got live and boiled crawfish. If you want your live crawfish to boil them yourself for Easter, order them at Rouse's. You want to pick up boiled crawfish, you can do it at any Rouse's location. Find any of the 60 Rouse's locations nearest you at rouses.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back.
Join us on Saturday, April 22nd
at the Ochsner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown, presented by Ochsner.
Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
All right. Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Worsham.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call Hudco Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-10.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Somehow I missed this when it happened. There was a lot coming and just flying through content-wise on Monday after the national championship game. But apparently Muse pointed this out to me earlier. It's so good. It's so good.
They're so awesome.
It's so good. They got pictures. It's the women's basketball team holding cupcakes with the national championship trophy. Angel Reese had tweeted, "We love all these E's. We love a cupcake schedule." Because that was a criticism, was they played this light schedule, they win the Natty. And so they got cupcakes. They took a picture of a cupcake on the national championship. So good. I love this team. Cody Worsham is LSU's chief brand officer. Good dude, been a good friend for a long time. Good enough to jump aboard. Provide some context here on the impact that this game has had, not just on Angel Reese or the basketball, but LSU as a whole. Hey, man, thanks for the time. How are you?
Hey, Matt. I'm doing well. How are you?
Got the loan closed?
Yeah, we're closing on a home today, and there was a typo with my name on all the documentation, so we sat there for a while. But they got it straightened away. We're done. I'm done. So
good. How did they misspell Worsham?
It was the first name. It was instead of Cody, it was Code. So if you're looking for a new nickname for me,
well, I'm going to unplug my headphones. Hold on,
Yeah.
That is actually Code E. Cody?
That's
Cody.
Right. Phonetically spelled.
They did it.
Correct.
Okay. I led you in there, and I guess you heard it while you were on hold. Like, the massive amounts of awareness that the LSU brand has garnered over the last 72 hours. Have you all started to quantify that?
We have, Matt. That's one of the things that I've spent a lot of time doing over the last couple of days. So there's a few ways that I can put this into perspective. There's the things that we've kind of created on our own, our content team that, has done a phenomenal job putting out stuff. And then there's all I would call that our owned media. And then we have our earned media, which is what everyone's saying about us and all the conversations around us. Both of them are high. I'll start with the stuff that we've done because that's kind of what we can control. So I was looking at it, I actually wrote it down for you so I'd get it right. I did the last 30 days. I think this is the biggest number. The women's basketball accounts have gained 150,000 followers over the last month, and most of those were in the last week or so with them making their run. All of our accounts have gained 234,000, so that's massive. And then the women's basketball accounts have generated 4.4 million engagements. That's a like, a share, a retweet. As I mentioned, the new followers, and then 43.6 million impressions. That's how many times it's shown up on people's feeds. So all the content that Sheldon Lee has been making, that Grant Kavar has been posting, that Kristen Young and Jordan Jones, the photos they've been taking, it's been seen by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then the flip side is the conversations around us. I don't have the latest numbers on this because it was kind of hard to keep track because they were changing so much. But I just searched the term LSU into the software sprinkler that I use to track this stuff, and the letters LSU in order, in that order, had appeared more than or had been seen by more than 4 billion people over the weekend. So I don't know if that's 4 billion uniques, but 4 billion times or a reach of 4 billion LSU's been out there. So it's a lot of conversation. A lot of our phones are blowing up, but that's good. It's exciting because all that means is a lot of people are joining us as we celebrate, this first basketball title for LSU women's basketball and then our 50th championship overall. So it's exciting.
4 billion. I think there's like 7 billion people in the world. So I'm not sure if
everyone with an internet connection, everybody that's got a cell phone, they saw it.
Cody, but I think I don't know if you're being a little sarcastic, but I think you're right.
A little bit.
Well, no, because And specifically, so I like how you broke it down. Owned media and earned media. So owned is the things that you all put out, and the earned is people talking about. Cody, it's been impossible to ignore, not only because of the impact the game itself had, but then everything that followed with Angel Reese, and then, of course, when the First Lady gets involved. So now you are talking about something that very wildly transcends sport and touches literally everything. So how do you start, or do you all try to quantify or qualify the earned media? Like, what does it mean to have all these people talking about LSU over the last 72 hours?
Yeah, it's a cross-cultural moment, Matt. That's why it's resonated everywhere. You have people talking about it really in every circle and every walk of life. It's on ESPN. It's on CNN. It's on network program. It's on the radio. It's everywhere. It's on social, obviously. So how do we begin to quantify it? Yeah, I mean, obviously I'll put it this way. I was in a meeting not too long ago. It was actually an academic meeting because I'm doing some stuff on the academic side too. And they were looking at a number of this story's going somewhere, so bear with me. They were looking at some academic metrics, and one of them is freshman retention. Like, how many freshmen are you keeping every year? And the better you're doing in freshman retention, the better you're ranking across the university landscape, right? And so they had this chart of the last 20 years of freshman retention. And I looked at the chart, and I noticed the peaks on the chart when we retained the most freshmen. Hey, there's 2003, we had a high freshman retention. 2007, we had another high freshman retention. Well, 2019 was the highest of all. Well, obviously, we won national championships those years in football, and freshmen wanted to stick around, right? And so that's football. This is women's basketball, but this is a big moment for women's basketball, too. It's the most viewed game in college basketball history. It had 10 million people watching. So when LSU succeeds like that in sports, certainly elevates the profile of the university to a global scale, and hopefully helps on the academic side, because that's what our job is in athletics, Matt. Like, yeah, we're here to entertain, and yeah, we're here to help student athletes have a great experience. But our function as an athletic department is to elevate and promote the university too, and so that comes first and foremost. So it's definitely done that, and it's been exciting to see.
Cody Worsham's with us, LSU's chief brand officer. I do want to talk about Angel Reese specifically. You were obviously there in 2019 when Joe Burrow and that national championship team happened, and then the cigar picture that Jeffrey Marks took and tweeted took off the way that it did. Can you provide a little bit of context or comparison to what has happened with Angel Reese in the last 72 hours to anything else that you've seen?
Yeah, this may be recency bias. I think this is, for a short burst like this over a week or so, I think it's right up there with Joe Burrow, if not more, in terms of the attention. And it goes back to what I said earlier about a cross-cultural moment. Joe was massive. He still is massive, and his brand and his name recognition is incredible. But CNN wasn't doing the coverage. It was really highly focused in football circles, and then NFL, college football circles, and then maybe the broader sports fan. I mean, this thing's got Lil Wayne. It's got so you got the pop culture piece, right, with Wayne and his relationship with Flau'jae having a musical tie. You've got the political stuff that started to come in, and then you've got obviously the athletic stuff. Then you've got the kind of what I would say is a huge moment for college basketball and women's college basketball is how well this Final Four performed and all the storylines around it. Caitlin Clark had a moment. It's kind of a perfect storm of all those things, and I think it's just captivating a lot of different audiences right now. So with Angel specifically, like, I ran some numbers on her too. Her followers are through the roof. I think Grant Kavar actually tweeted something recently to show how many followers she had gained. I think she went over 1 million total recently, and came here with maybe 70,000 when she got here. So she's with her brand, with her personality, with the way that she's outspoken and confident and says what she believes and feels, it's certainly garnering a ton of attention for her and for LSU women's basketball as a whole.
Real quick, do you all know, like, is the women's team planning on making a White House visit? I know I'm not trying to kick an anthill or anything, but it's it's been a little, it's kind of been a question now, right?
Yeah, I don't know that we've received an official invite yet. I don't know what the timeline is for that, but yeah, I've talked to enough people to say that if they were extended an invite, they would be going.
Okay. What about Kim Mulkey as well, as far as the reach, the awareness? I mean, hell, Cody, like the outfits alone go viral.
Yeah. I mean, she's always had a larger than life brand. She had that when she was at Baylor, but I think when you combine that brand with coming back to Louisiana, the LSU brand itself, the Louisiana connection, her personality, her name recognition, I think it's kind of been another perfect storm. I haven't run the numbers on her. I'm afraid that the software I used would break if I ran Kim Mulkey's numbers. But she's embraced it, and I think when we talk about all these numbers, like to put them in context, what that means the investment in Coach Mulkey and her program, and really all of our women's sports, it's coming through on this end where you're seeing attention, you're seeing engagement, you're seeing not just people hearing about these things, but engaging with them and commenting and sharing and wanting to be a part of that conversation. It shows that investment is worth it, and it's going to elevate the women's basketball program. It's going to elevate the entire sport of women's basketball. I'm really interested to see how Angel and Caitlin sort of play off of this. It's almost like I was talking with somebody today. It's almost like a Magic and Larry Bird moment for women's basketball. And if they embrace that, which they kind of have, they've kind of embraced it. And both Caitlin, very classy, recently spoke very highly of Angel and said she doesn't deserve any criticism. Angel recently has said, "Look, I love Caitlin Clark. It was a competitive moment." If they play this the right way, they could really do something special here for the sport over the next 5 or 10 years. So it's a big moment for them, big moment for Coach Mulkey, and that's what she came here to do, not only for LSU but for the entire state. So it's exciting to see that panel.
I know Angel Reese has released some Bayou Barbie merch, but I also saw the edit that y'all did with Angel Reese on the.
Oh man,
it was so good. Like, is that a thing? Like, is this Bayou Barbie thing actually a thing that could happen with Mattel?
I don't know. That's for somebody else to answer. I'll say this: Nico Buddy, our student designer, did that, and he turned that around in like 30 minutes. And
my God.
That's another thing when we talk about the owned metrics. Some of it is just the speed at which our creators turn this stuff around. I mean, for him to turn that design around in no time, for our photographers to have pictures, on social media ready to go within seconds of them being taken. That's where you're really getting to capture some things. So the speed of turnaround with our group is pretty impressive.
No, and you're right. And as you've described it as a perfect storm, I mean, Cody, think of it this way: like the Elite Eight game against Miami was a plodding struggle. It was just stylistically a very different game. If that were the championship game, you probably don't get this. But because you had 102 points scored, a very that game coupled with all of the ancillary stuff, all the factors, I think that's accurately putting it, man. I mean, it would be very difficult, if not impossible, to recreate that moment, which is why the virality happened, I would assume.
It's why you have to tip your hat to Caitlin Clark, because if you beat, like you said, if you beat a team in a rock fight and it's not pretty, it's not good basketball, there's going to be criticism. There's going to be commentary about that. It probably isn't the best thing for the sport, because it's especially the offensive play was at such a high level. And Jazz Carson scoring 25 in the first half, looking like a Steph Curry clone out there, like that engages people. That gets them to keep watching, stay around. So Caitlin Clark being such a dynamic scorer herself and such a transcendent talent herself, I think one brings in that attention, but two, it just adds more credibility to LSU's title. You win a rock fight, 50-47. There's going to be people saying, "Oh, you got an easy draw. You didn't play the tough teams." The cupcake comment that we heard all season, right? But they went in there and beat the best and Caitlin Clark, and so it's a credit to not only Caitlin's talents but LSU's ability to negate her as much as anyone possibly could, and then to do enough on the offensive end to get the win.
Hey, man, before you go, the parade tonight, do y'all have any ideas what type of numbers y'all are expecting as far as attendance at the parade or at the Maravich Center, all that stuff?
At the Maravich Center, I think we're going to be able to fit everybody in, hopefully. We don't have a real gauge on the number.
Okay.
I'll use the Simone statue as an example. I mean, that it was packed for Simone statue unveiling. And I have a feeling we're going to get more people than that tonight. So we're prepared for anything. We're fully staffed and ready to go.
Okay, 6:30 is the parade. The route is through the LSU campus. It's on the LSU social medias. You can go see the parade route. And then I would assume if people are somewhere along the route that they'll have time to get from wherever they're on the route into the Maravich Center for the celebration at 7.
Yeah, the parade is scheduled for 30 minutes. And as much as I love our team at LSU and the staff that's running it, if that parade gets done in 30 minutes, I will be surprised and happy. But hopefully it is done in 30 minutes, and by 7 o'clock they're rolling inside the PMAC. I got a feeling they're going to linger a little bit.
All right. Cody Worsham, have a great night. Should I say Code Worsham is yes, our friend Code Worsham. Thank you for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
All right. Be well. Chief Brand Officer, it's Cody Worsham. If you missed it at the beginning, Cody was leaving. He was closing on a home today, and he was a little delayed because they misspelled his name on the paperwork. They spelled Cody C-O-D-E. They spelled it Code Worsham. So if you're going to misspell one of the names, Cody or Worsham, I'm going to guess, right? You're going to misspell Worsham, right? That would be the one that you're going to flub, not Cody.
Yeah, there would also be like other ways I would think they'd misspell Cody, like K-O-D-I.
K-O-D-Y,
yeah.
C-O-D-I.
Well, yeah. I-E maybe on the end. There's other ways, yeah.
Code Worsham. Yeah. He should play. He should lean into it a little bit.
It's actually kind of cool.
Code Worsham. What's your code, Worsham? All right, it's after further review. We'll do overrated, underrated when we come back. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Why in the world would you call anyone other than Darren James? Y'all, the market is really settling right now, which is a great thing. For a while during the pandemic, it was like as soon as a home was listed, boom, you're into multiples. It was crazy. Then there was no inventory. Well, the numbers are starting to settle. It's a good time right now. If you want to buy or sell a home, call Darren James. Think about listing your home. Call the realtor that sells more homes than anyone. Call Darren James. 335-7666. 335-7666 or agent225.com. That's agent225.com. One of the other things you could always go do is go read all the customer reviews. They're at the bottom of the homepage of his website, or you can go to Zillow and read all the amazing 5-star reviews of people like me that have been thrilled to work with Darren James. So call Darren James. Get your home sold.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off new 2022 Jeep Gladiators and $8,000 off new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokees. All new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level. with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Muse. Remember yesterday we were talking about have your cake and eat it too?
Yeah.
Why are we talking about that?
I don't remember. It's a stupid saying.
Why are we talking about that? Mama Scone, maybe? Oh, by the way, today's Mama Scone's birthday.
Oh, shout out.
How
Happy
about
birthday, Mama Scone.
Mom, what a week for Mama Scone. Beat me in the bracket challenge, and today's her birthday. Big shout out to Mama Scone. Happy birthday. What's that?
I'm saying today's my mom's birthday, too.
What? I think we've talked about this before.
Wait a minute.
That's right. Paulie's and my mom's birthdays are the same day. What's your mom's name, Paulie?
Tammy.
Shout out, Tammy. Tammy O. Tammy O'Neal. How old is Tammy O today? Do we want to call her? That was a lot of questions all at once. Was that too many questions?
That was a good bit there.
It wasn't a bit. I was just...
No, not like that. Like a good bit, like an amount, not...
Oh, understood.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. It was just a stream of consciousness moment. Yes, Paul, go.
What was the question?
There were a lot of them.
Yeah, which one, Paul?
Yeah, which one?
Tammy. How old is Tammy? Oh, Paulie.
Oh, I know.
Let's say her age. Mom's going 66.
63.
Born 1957. 63. Okay. So Tammy. What's Tammy's maiden name?
Tom's.
So is Tammy Toms or Tammy O'Neal? What sounds better?
So the alliteration is awesome.
Tammy
there.
Toms?
Yeah, that is so good.
Tammy Toms. 1M, Toms?
Yes.
Is she related to David Toms?
I have no idea.
Should we call her on air?
If you want to.
Would she answer?
Maybe.
Is she more talkative than you?
Yeah.
Good.
Huh.
Otherwise, that might be the shortest segment ever. All right, Tammy and Mama Scone. Both of their birthdays are today. How about that? Shout out to Tammy Toms O'Neal. The whole point of this. Have your cake and eat it too. Shout out Chris, who texted the show via the text line. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. What you got?
Have your cake and eat it too originates from brides wanting to keep their wedding cake and also eat it. Subsequently, not long after, the saving of the top cake layer tradition began, so a bride could keep the cake while eating it. You can have your cake and eat it too.
That makes so much sense now that I know that.
I know. It's a great saying.
Well,
great saying.
It's a great story of how the saying came to be. The saying's
Overrated
still
or
stupid.
underrated, the saying?
Overrated.
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 That's a great story. Paulie, did you all save the top layer of your wedding cake?
We did.
Did you eat it a year later?
We did.
Was it good?
It was so good.
I know. Jacob Beck's in here. Beck, you're married. Did you all save the top layer of your wedding cake?
We did save a little bit of it, and then we went to go eat it like a year later, and it wasn't very good.
Huh. Well, what was not good about it?
It just, I don't know, just didn't, obviously it's not freshly made or anything. It's been in the freezer for a long time. So
mine, by the way, was fire. I ate the whole thing. By the way, shout out to my Aunt Karen, made our wedding cake. She's been a baker forever. And then my Aunt Linda made my groom's cake, which was a Jack Daniel's bottle, by the way. So on brand.
That is strong.
So on brand.
God, that's strong.
So on brand. Yeah, no, the wedding cake, shout out Aunt Karen, who made mine and Erica's wedding cake. A year later, I ate Erica didn't. I think maybe took a bite of it. I ate the whole, over multiple days, I ate the whole thing. It was so good. a year later. It was so good. Wedding cakes, overrated or under? A year-old wedding cake, frozen wedding cake toppers, overrated, underrated. I'm going to say they're underrated, Muse. At least mine was very underrated. Okay, hit me, Muse. Overrated, underrated. Let's do it.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
Oh, wait, now I have a question, though, about the Jack Daniels bottle.
Yes.
What flavor cake was the Jack Daniels bottle?
Chocolate.
Oh,
let me see if I can find it.
Strong. I mean, it gets stronger.
I'm going to see.
Chocolate cake is so
I'll
elite.
bet you. I'm going to see if I can find a picture. I'll bet you if I go search deep into the Facebook reservoir on Erica's page, if I go find like Erica's Facebook, which by the way, she still hasn't accepted my my request as far as being married on Facebook. Like the marriage thing, you know, you're married too. I'm almost positive. Like that's not what I want with that. Hang on, let me see. Let me see if it says married to Matt Moscona. I don't know if hers does. I don't think it does, but I don't think she ever accepted the married to
Does it
thing.
still say you're like dating or engaged?
The relationship status. Hang on, let's see. Oh no, okay, we're married. Okay, we're married on Facebook.
That would have been hilarious. Engaged or engaged
I'm
to
telling
Matt
you, bro. Like
Moscona.
there was a while there where we were not married on Facebook. We were
FB official.
We were not Facebook official. That was a thing for a long time. All right, here's the album. Right, go.
Overrated or underrated? Fried mozzarella.
Overrated.
Oh wow. Okay.
I mean,
that's offensive.
It's just fried cheese.
Delicious.
It's. I'm not saying it's not tasty. It's just not great. Oh, I found it.
Let's see it.
So this is what we did. Hold on. Oh no, what happened? Hang on. There it is.
That was quick.
Wait,
you said you had to go back deep. That was quick.
I just know what I'm doing. All right. This is a blurry picture, but there it is. There was my Jack Daniels groom's cake that my Aunt Linda made. Shout out Aunt Linda. We ate the cake, I believe, and saved the Jack Daniels bottle. So it was like a square. For those not watching, it's a square chocolate cake, and she made the Jack Daniels bottle as like the top of the cake. And I think I saved the bottle, and I can't remember if I ever went back and ate the bottle. Maybe I did. Maybe I tried. Maybe like we did the year later thing for the bottle as well. But shout out. Great memory. My Aunt Linda passed a few years ago, and both my mom's sisters, Karen and Linda, my aunts, are just awesome. Like they owned a bakery when years ago, and anyway, so they made my Aunt Linda made my groom's cake, and Karen made our wedding cake, and they knocked out the Parker sauce. Oh. Yeah, so Jack Daniels bottle. Yeah. See if I can find the wedding. Oh, and here's the wedding cake. Oh, look at this, man. This is like a little trip down wedding memory lane. Check out. There's our wedding cake right there. And not a funny haha story, but we had the wedding at we had the wedding at most of Sacramento, but the reception was at Camelot Club downtown. For those that aren't in Baton Rouge, it's the old Chase building, which is now they're renovating. I think to River Center, River Tower, or something like that. Which is gorgeous. They're going to be able to be like condos and stuff. Well, Camelot Club was the restaurant on the top floor. Well, the parking garage in that building, you go down, you go underground, and it's a pretty steep. Well, and Karen had the cake in the car, and when she went down, the cake toppled over. So we lost a layer of the cake. So when she got there, she had to it's a 4-layer cake. I think like that third layer, like they just took out the third layer, something like that, and it was just a shorter cake. They just cut. I mean, they saved the cake and cut it and served it, but when it was presented, it was like 3 layers instead of 4, I think.
Do people still put the bride and groom on top of the cake? So it looks like y'all had y'all's initials.
Yeah, we had an M and an E. Yeah. I had no idea. I had no idea about it.
Yeah.
Paul, did you have a little bride and groom people on top of your cake?
We did not.
Okay.
I don't think people do that anymore.
No, we didn't.
I don't think people do it anymore.
A little miniature bride.
Yeah.
There's just other ways you could do, cake toppers and whatnot. So.
Overrated or underrated? The Masters Par 3 contest.
Look at Erica. There was Erica in her wedding dress. She'd probably be mortified if she knows showing all this. There's Erica. There's her wedding photo.
Does she still have her dress?
Shout out. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. There's Erica. A little wedding photo. Shout out. E-Rock. Boy, did I outkick my coach. Wow. I mean, dude, look. Oh, my God. Anyway, what?
The Masters Par 3 contest. Overrated or underrated?
Overrated. Yeah, I think everything about the Masters is overrated.
Why do you hate the Masters?
I don't hate the Masters.
You hate the Masters.
I would love to go to the Masters.
Well, who would?
I just think it's pretty. It's one name. It's not like the such and such. It's just the Masters. There's a lot about it that has been branded exceptionally well. There's pimento cheese sandwiches. Like, there's a lot of good stuff. It's just overrated.
It's the official start of spring.
No, it's actually
Yes, it is.
it's not. If you're a golf nerd and you love to sit around and watch a boring sport, then that's fine. Now, I like to play golf, and I'll watch Sunday at the Masters if there's something interesting. But do I want to just sit around and watch the par 3? No, I don't. And neither do the majority of people in the world, which is why it doesn't do enormous TV ratings. Relative to golf, sure. Relative to high school baseball, yeah. But
ouch.
Par 3? Come on.
Overrated or underrated? Phoenix, Arizona.
Underrated.
Any particular reason why, or we're just going?
Okay. For a city that size, the infrastructure, economy, biz dev, business development growth, crime rates low. I mean, everything is like there's a reason people go move there. No state income tax in Arizona. Tons of reasons why Arizona and Phoenix in particular, that whole Phoenix area phenomenal.
That's overrated or underrated?
All right, presented by Michele Weighing and Measurement. Michele.com. With 29 offices across 11 different states. Michele Weighing and Measurement. You weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products you use to weigh and measure. Get on by and see Joel McMullen, or shout out to Joel McMullen over at Michele. I tell you what, one of the really cool things, a company that big, 76 years in business. Their main office right there in Harahan, their New Orleans office. You walk into the front door at Michele. The first office on the left, that's Joel's office. President and CEO, first office on the left. I mean, anybody that walks in their door, you're going to see the president and CEO of the company. It's the way they do business and always have, and will continue to do hopefully for another 76 years. It's Michele Weighing and Measurement. Michele.com, Michele.com. Okay, y'all, it is after further review. David Cloninger will be here in about 15 minutes from right now. He's of the Post and Courier up there in Columbia, South Carolina. We'll talk a little bit about the Gamecocks, who LSU will take on tomorrow. The number 1 Tigers against the number 3 Gamecocks. They're at, what do they call it now? Founders something or other? Founders? Didn't they call it?
Founders Park.
It was Citizens. What did they call it when they opened it? Do you remember? Because I think they were a year apart. Right? What did they call it?
Columbia Stadium?
No, that wasn't it. It was a sponsor something or other.
Hold on, I'm Googling.
It doesn't really matter. Not Colonial Life. What did they? It doesn't matter.
Definitely wasn't Colonial.
No, I can't remember. I can't find it. The hell with it. It's after further review. So we'll talk to David Cloninger in about 15 minutes from right now. Stick around. Muse will have Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR.
Mentioned this yesterday. If you're a business owner, if you own a business or a commercial building, and you are interested, and you've heard me talk about ProCharge, ProChargeEV.com, ProChargeEV.com. These are EV chargers. You're starting to see them pop up everywhere. Well, ProCharge, local solution with the top-rated chargers in the world, the juice box chargers, they're giving away 3 EV chargers this month. Go to ProChargeEV.com, ProChargeEV.com. You'll see it pop up on the home screen, or you can hit the charger giveaway tab at the top and just fill out the form to enter. It's that simple. If you have a business or commercial building, ProCharge is giving away 3 chargers plus the installation, totally free, no catch. Just go online to register. Do it right now at ProChargeEV.com. Remember, there's tap to pay options, so this is something that will be a revenue generator for you. ProChargeEV.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back. Join us on Saturday, April 22nd at the Ochsner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks, Jambalaya Showdown, presented by Ochsner. Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Remember, trivia at Pluckers. We'll do some Pluckers trivia in about 40 minutes from right now. Muse. Oh, Muse. I am feeling good about these trivia questions for you today.
We got a theme?
No.
Oh.
Actually, you're not going to get any of these today.
Oh, okay, probably.
You're going to absolutely face plant. It's going to be terrible. Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
After breaking out of his early season slump yesterday with a 3-hit day, Bregman follows it up last night with a 1-for-3 outing against the Tigers. It was a single, would come around to score a run as well, drew a walk. The average slowly climbing, now up to 167. The Astros lost to the Tigers. They're 2-4, not going well there in Houston. Austin Nola yesterday. There it is. That was a good one, too.
Got him.
1-for-3 was Nola with an RBI. It was a 2-out single. First RBI of the season for Nola. He as well drew a walk. Is hitting .250 early on in the year. Oh, that's unfortunate.
What?
I just exited out of something that I needed. So we're gonna move on to the NBA. We're gonna,
Idiot. Good.
Good. More for you and me.
More for me and you, right?
We're gonna move on to the NBA and Tari Eason momentarily while we pull that back up. Tari last night, really solid outing. 33 minutes off the bench, 11 points off of 5 of 9 shooting, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 assist, and a block. Round out his night. Been a really, really solid rookie year for Tari Eason with the Houston Rockets.
And the Rockets stink.
Though they're terrible, but he's been awesome. Now we're ready.
Okay.
Oops, my bad. DJ LeMahieu last night. No.
Well, they should have.
From Michigan. 1-for-4.
Who went to a brother
It doesn't
school,
matter.
fellow brother
No,
school.
that's not.
It counts.
Doesn't matter.
It counts.
No, it doesn't.
Judge's ruling?
No.
It counts, yes.
There you go. Judge's ruling. 1-for-4.
It's my damn show, and it counts.
We told you yesterday DJ almost hit an inside the park homer. Well, last night he just removed all doubt and hit it over the fence. 1 for 4, his first home run of the season. Came in the 9th inning off of Craig Kimbrell with 1 out. So 1 for 4, the run scored, the RBI, 294 for DJ early in the year at the top of the Yankee order. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Old poo face, Craig Kimbrell.
Why do you call him that?
Because whenever he looks in, he does this thing. He goes like,
that is true. He
got
purses the lips.
He's got a poo face. Is what he's got. Call him poo face forever since he was with Boston.
He's pretty good with them.
He stinks. It's after further review. Tigers in the Pros, presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com. Gentlemen, if you are going to pop the question, like Muse, who's about to pop the question, go to Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
Chill.
Go to Lee Michaels, Muse. The price of diamonds over time, they're only going to go up, Muse. You should go buy one now for the inevitability of, what's coming. You'll always get the Lee Michaels experience. Highest quality diamonds at the best possible price. You always get the Lee Michaels experience. No matter your budget, it's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Okay, let's head up to Columbia, South Carolina. Oh, by the way, Colonial Life Arena, it's the basketball arena. Carolina Stadium was the original name. Now they named something else. Who cares? David Cloninger covers the Gamecocks. He'll be with us right after SportsCenter. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about the Williamson Eye Center. Not only a great Louisiana business, third generation, Dr. Blake Williamson, third generation Williamson, 70-plus years of helping people in Louisiana with ophthalmology. But I tell you all the time, man, and I'm living, walking, breathing, seeing proof of this. Someone with terrible eyesight my whole life, contacts and glasses forever. My prescription was like a negative 625. Could barely see my hand in front of my face, literally. And LASIK changed my life. I was a perfect candidate for LASIK. You hear people say forever, LASIK's the best money you could ever spend, best thing I ever did, best decision I ever made. And I came to believe all that. September will be my 5-year anniversary of LASIK. If you have ever considered it, if you have ever even considered LASIK, just go for the consultation. Williamson Eye Center. Eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery for more than 70 years. WilliamsonEye.com. That's Williamson, EYE.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. The woman who brought down Plaquemine Police Chief Kenny Payne is suing him and the city of Plaquemine, alleging her constitutional rights were violated. She says Payne crossed the line with her and demanded oral sex after her boyfriend's arrest. It led to Payne's resignation and conviction for malfeasance in office. Now we've learned the feds are looking into this case. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today, and thank you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCoRoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back. Join us on Saturday, April 22nd at the Ochsner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and Joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks, Jambalaya Showdown, presented by Ochsner. Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com. All right.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Interesting comments from Ravens GM Eric DeCosta today. He said it is possible the team selects a quarterback in the first round of the upcoming NFL draft. The Ravens would not answer any questions on QB Lamar Jackson, who is asked to be traded. The NBA MVP race is over, according to 76ers coach Doc Rivers. That declaration from Rivers came after he watched Joel Embiid go 20 for 25 from the field, finished with 52 points in Philadelphia's victory over Boston. Embiid, the odds-on favorite to take home the award over Denver's Nikola Jokic and Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo. ESPN's PJ Carlesimo is glad that he does not have a vote.
No, I don't know what I'd do. I probably would go to Jokic. You watch a guy like Embiid play last night, and you're blown away by what he's done. I always lean more towards a guy who's on a better team. So for that reason, that's, for me, more pro Giannis, more pro Jokic, and a little bit less Joel Embiid.
PJ on Fitz and Harry. Giannis leads the Bucks against the Bulls. Coverage in an hour on ESPN TV. Milwaukee wins the top seed in the East with a victory.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier to help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock. Quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. All right, let's head up to Columbia, South Carolina. Our buddy David Cloninger is good enough to join us in the Post and Courier, preview the LSU South Carolina weekend. David, we appreciate it as always, man. How are you?
Not bad, Matt. You doing all right?
Man, I'm doing great. I'd imagine that the Gamecocks are doing pretty well also. This was a team, David, that was picked in the preseason to finish fourth in the East. Fourth in the East! They're number 3 in the country right now. How in the world have they done it?
Well, it's kind of like the Texas A&M playbook from last year, Matt. If you remember, they got in and really just reloaded out of the transfer portal and had those guys play significant roles. So, of course, hiring from the transfer portal is always a chancy thing. But South Carolina did the same thing this year, and they got a bunch of guys who came in and are immediately producing. So the offense has been great, maybe not as aggressive as a non-conference schedule as they usually have, but they've won a lot of games, and they're 27-3 going into this series.
You can say what you want about the non-conference schedule, but when through 3 weekends you're 8-1 in the SEC, that really speaks volumes. Let's walk through kind of how they've done it. Let's start with the pitching and what Mark Kingston's been able to get out of this staff, in particular the rotation.
Well, that's the thing, Matt. I mean, they knew that they were going to have strong pitching coming into this year. They knew they had a lot of talent back, and really that was the big loss from last year. They thought that they had a really good pitching rotation, and they did. But of their top 4 guys, 3 weekend and a midweek guys, 3 of them were gone by the 8th day of the season. There's just nothing you can do about that, you know. So a lot of those guys were coming back. They thought they had some answers, and they do. Will Sanders, Noah Hall, Jack Mahoney were 3 really good guns to start out there on the weekend. And you also had James Hicks coming in there in the midweek, and a freshman, 2 freshmen actually, Eli Jones and Eli Jersenbeck. Jersenbeck in particular, he was a guy they recruited and thought, you know, you sign that guy on the off chance that he might come, but he'll get snapped up by the majors. Well, draft came and went, and Eli said, no, I want to come to school. So they ended up getting him. So you always have a chance in this game if that guy on the little bump in the middle of the infield is on, and that's what they've had this year.
Yeah. You mentioned Noah Hall. Did I see that he's injured? Is he available this weekend?
He probably is not. They have not made that declaration, but he has been suffering some back problems. Really tough for him to get loose. And you could see it in his last start against Mississippi State, where he only lasted about 3 innings. So right now he is not expected to pitch, and he was not announced as a part of the starting rotation.
David, Georgia, Missouri, Mississippi State, the 3-weekend series. I guess it's fair to say maybe not the toughest slate to open. How much do you look at that 8-1 to start conference play and say, yeah, that's legitimate. Carolina's a really, really good baseball team. How much of it do you say is, well, let's see when they're tested a little more?
Well, that's the thing, Matt. I mean, I've kind of hesitated on saying, hey, South Carolina baseball is back, mostly because really over the last 10 years, it's kind of been a case of waiting for the other shoe to drop, which has just been something that should have never happened to this program, but it did. So you kind of, you know, being a little hesitant about it. And you say, well, their first 3 SEC series weren't against the greatest of competition. But then again, Matt, if you remember, Missouri wasn't supposed to be real good this year. But in their first series of SEC season, what'd they do?
Yeah, swept Tennessee.
They swept Tennessee.
Yeah.
So it was like, that just got a lot more interesting. Well, they came to Columbia and got swept. So it's a crazy season. It's a crazy game. You know, the one loss they've had in SEC games was at Mississippi State after the Bulldogs had lost 18 conference games in a row. But they ended up winning the series, so no harm, no foul. And you say, well, it's going to get a lot tougher from here on out, but this is SEC, guys. And as you know it, you've been around as long as I have, it's always a tough weekend, any weekend you play. So they are really thankful that if nothing else about to go play the number 1 team in the country, at least you get it at home. At least you get it at home.
Yeah, David, it'll be Will Sanders on the bump tomorrow against Paul Skeens. I saw you were talking to some of the South Carolina players today and asking them about Skeens. Look, he's been magnificent. He's the best arm talent that I've ever personally seen at LSU. How does Carolina try to combat a guy like Skeens? And is there any precedent there for facing an arm that good?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Matt. What they've done is lobby the SEC for a little exploited rule. Tomorrow, I have it on good authority that South Carolina will be able to bat with boat paddles instead of just a regular aluminum. So that could give them a little bit of advantage. But, I mean, that guy, I've seen a lot of pitchers in a lot of games over a lot of levels, and he's incredible. What he's doing right now is just completely in control, completely confident, and basically saying, like, you ain't going to get a hit. It's just not going to happen. So if you get hold of one, stop and take a picture of it because it ain't going to happen too often. But, you know, you got to go out there and play. And I wouldn't put it past South Carolina to be saying, like, well, the best offensive game plan today, hope he has a bad day.
Yeah.
But you just got to go out there and take your hacks and see what can happen. Try to get on any way you can, and then instead of playing guerrilla ball like South Carolina has with all the home runs they've hit, they're going to have to try to play some station-to-station baseball, and that's not going to be easy to do with one of their best contact hitters, Will McGillis, still out for a few weeks.
And David Cloninger is with us here for a few more minutes from the Post and Curry up there in Charleston. He covers South Carolina, does an awesome job. I noticed on Sunday, Game 3 Saturday, it's a TBA for Mark Kingston. What's the most realistic scenario for what they do in Game 3?
Probably what they'll do is start James Hicks, who's a guy that started some games last year and was one of those pitchers that got taken out early. But they'll also have Eli Jersenbeck and Eli Jones in the pen. They've also got Matthew Becker, a kid who actually started yesterday's game against North Carolina but didn't stay in that long. And they've got some other guys that can go in and say, if you got a Johnny Holstaff this thing, that could be a case. That said, Matt, this will still be interesting because the weather forecast in Columbia right now looks awful.
Yeah.
They'll play tomorrow, but they're only going to play one game. And they can't play Sunday because the SEC's rule is like, hey, no matter when the series starts, you got 3 days to play 3 games. So if there's only one game this weekend, all hands on deck. If there's only 2 games this weekend, and you could say, well, now you can save a guy, maybe throw somebody at them that you weren't expecting to. For instance, if the weather looks bad for Friday and you don't think you're going to get either game in, why not just have Jack Mahoney relieve Will Sanders tomorrow? But those are all going to be played out. Right now there's only one game scheduled for Friday. Do not be surprised if there's another one added to Friday's schedule.
Okay, I did want to ask you, David, and maybe that's burying the lead a little bit, because we have been talking about the weather in Columbia this week and kind of keeping an eye on it, because everyone here, the biggest concern, of course, is making sure Paul Skeens gets his start. The worst thing that could happen from LSU's perspective is Skeens starts a game, weather comes, and then then his weekend's cut short. So tomorrow looks okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Tomorrow looks fine.
Is
it's
there,
not great, but it looks like it'll be fine.
David, is there any talk about playing 2 games tomorrow, 2 games on Thursday?
If that's come up, Matt, I would be tremendously surprised because it would all be on LSU's end. They would have to fly in here and play 2 games on the same day. I don't think they're going to want to do that. So I doubt very seriously, unless there's a major change in thinking, that they would play 2 games tomorrow. Right now it's the case of you're going to play one on Thursday. On Friday, you cannot move the television time for the 7 o'clock game, but you could play before it. And then on Saturday, it's scheduled for, I think, noon, but it's 100% chance of rain right now.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't look like they're going to be able to play a whole series. But who knows?
Have you, as long as you've covered the league, can you remember a weekend where 2 games didn't get played?
Ooh, I think maybe 2016. I believe it was a case where South Carolina might have only got to play 1 game against Mississippi State, which at the time, it didn't matter. But then at the end of the season, South Carolina finished a half game out of the SEC East regular season championship.
Oh, wow.
So it was like,
Yeah.
But, you can't help the weather. Everybody's got to deal with it, and it's just a case like, look, these are the rules. If this was the end of the regular season, yeah, you could go ahead and play on Sunday. But it's not. It's the 4th weekend. So each team's going to have to deal with it. And I was just thinking of the Tigers, saying, what is that, about a 3-hour flight, maybe 4 hours from Baton Rouge or New Orleans to Columbia? That's a long round trip to take to play one ball game.
Play one game, yeah, you're right. Hopefully the weather cooperates. They find a clearance to get this weekend in, but we'll see how it goes. David Cloninger, you can follow him on Twitter at DCPandC, P-A-N-D, season post and courier, at DCPandC for all your South Carolina news notes. And especially, David, I'm sure you'll play Weatherman this weekend as well and kind of keep people posted on that. So make sure you're following David on Twitter, especially this weekend. We appreciate it, man. Thanks as always.
No problem, Matt. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Be well. That is David Cloninger. This is After Further Review. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Blue Bonnet. Remember, Wednesday is trivia night at both locations. So 7:30 Blue Bonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. If you're looking for some dude night, you can always get on by either Pluckers location. All right, let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, I meant to do this last hour. We kind of got a little sidetracked, but I'll come back to it. We know that Hendon Hooker visited the New Orleans Saints this week. Another quarterback in this draft class took a formal visit to New Orleans today. We'll talk about him next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance. 2 gorgeous properties in Baton Rouge. The Watermark in downtown, the Renaissance in, as they call it, Southtown. The Watermark is a time capsule. It was the original skyscraper in Baton Rouge, the old Louisiana National Bank building. When you walk into it, so much of the history is preserved. Listen, you know all about having, if you're looking for a place to stay in downtown Baton Rouge, the Watermark's the best spot. But what you maybe haven't experienced, what an awesome hotel lobby bar area. And the Gregory, which is the restaurant in the Watermark Hotel is fine dining at its best. They have weekend brunch as well. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, but they have weekend brunch. So if you love to go brunch and you want to get downtown, go to the Gregory inside of the Watermark for brunch this weekend. Make that part of your weekend plans. It's the Watermark Hotel in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we'll get some Pluckers trivia here in about 15 minutes from right now. Got to check those questions again for you there, Muse. No theme. Last week was wrestling, right? Was a wrestling theme? How did you do last week?
I went 2-1. It was an odd type of wrestling, though. It was a lot of like movies and
there was a Captain Insano. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, you have no shot.
Awesome.
Yeah, no shot.
All right, I'm prove you wrong then, Matt.
Yeah, no shot. You're going 0-3. You're going 0-3. You might get one. You might surprise me and just get a lucky guess and throw one out there and get one. But I don't think I think you're going 0-3.
All right. We'll see.
We will see you go 0-3. That is correct. So, Muso, we'll have some trivia coming up here in less than 15 minutes. So earlier this week, the news broke that the Saints we're bringing Tennessee quarterback Hendon Hooker to New Orleans for a formal visit at the Saints facility. And naturally, a lot of people are very excited because Hooker has been at the center of many conversations among Saints fans and analysts and pundits. The Saints are a quarterback-needy team. They're not drafting high enough to be in the mix for Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud or Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, in whatever order you value those quarterbacks. And so Hendon Hooker is kind of largely considered the next, on the list of quarterbacks when you look at quarterback class draft rankings this year. And so Hooker would be the most attainable quarterback for the New Orleans Saints at the highest draft spot. Is he there at 29? Is he still on the board at 40? Do they pull the trigger? It's worth keeping an eye on to see. But the Saints are bringing another quarterback to New Orleans this week. Per Ian Rappaport of NFL Media, Houston quarterback Clayton Tune is visiting the Saints on April 5th, today, Wednesday. And then the Browns later this week, and does have upcoming visits with Giants, Steelers, Bucks, Rams, and Texans. As Rappaport notes, after the first four quarterbacks who I mentioned, it's wide open. And it feels very much that way, that after those first four, it is kind of going to be a dealer's choice. It's who do you covet the most? Who do you value the most? And, my feeling on Hendon Hooker, we've talked about plenty, and I think he's going to be a great pro. The questions are coming off the knee injury, which we've talked about, and his age. Are you going to, if the Saints were to draft Hendon Hooker to be a starter in 2023, I'd be completely down with it. But considering they signed Derek Carr, if you're going to draft a quarterback, you're likely drafting a quarterback to stash him because you're financially committed to Derek Carr for at least 2 years. So it's hard to imagine a scenario, unless if there's an injury to Derek Carr, or it just blows up in your face, where you would play a rookie quarterback. So you kind of look at this, where the Saints are, and it's, unless if someone drops, like maybe you see maybe you see Will Levis or Anthony Richardson drop in this draft, and there's somewhere in the teens, and the Saints decide that it's enough value to trade up and get that player. It's probably hard to imagine them taking a quarterback other than Hendon Hooker or lower. So if you look at Pro Football Focus, again, this is just one metric. Say it all the time. Pro Football Focus is a metric. It's not the metric. Well, they rank all the quarterbacks in this year's draft class. They got Bryce Young from Alabama, number 1. Pro Football Focus actually ranks Will Levis, number 2, followed by C.J. Stroud and then Anthony Richardson. Those are the big four that everyone sort of has a consensus on. Pro Football Focus has Tanner McKee from Stanford, 5, then Hendon Hooker. DTR from UCLA, 7. Jay Kaner from Fresno State, 8. Clayton Tune from Houston, and then Stetson Bennett from Georgia as your top 10 quarterbacks in the draft. So let's focus on Clayton Tune because the Saints have made the decision to bring him to New Orleans for a formal visit. I want to remind you that every team in the NFL can have 30 prospects for a formal visit. That's, you fly them in, you host them, you wine them, you dine them, you work them out, all that sort of stuff. 30. That's it. Not 30 at each position, 30 total. So if you're going to use one of those visits, you better believe like you're locked into that player. You're at least interested enough that you would consider drafting that player. So it's not like we're just talking about a quarterback that's plucked from the air that I just feel like talking about because the Saints might take a flyer. They're bringing this guy in to work him out. Now, again, for whatever it's worth, Pro Football Focus rates Clayton Tune as the 9th best quarterback in this draft. Go back a year, there were 9 quarterbacks taken. So if you do the math and you remember who the last quarterback taken last year was, it was the last player in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, who was Brock Purdy to the 49ers. So you're talking about a 7th-round pick. I don't know if Clayton Tune has a higher draft grade than that. I don't know where the Saints would value him, covet him, grade him, rate him, or if they would be willing to even draft him at all, or if this is bringing him in as a guy, if he goes undrafted, they would be interested in signing as an undrafted free agent. I don't know what the Saints board looks like, but I'm just sharing that for context. The thing we have to start, if we're going to talk about Clayton Tune, we have to start with his age. Because if we're going to talk about Hendon Hooker's age, we have to have the same conversation with Clayton Tune. So Hendon Hooker, remember, just turned 25 years old. Hooker turned 25 in January. Clayton Tune is 1 year younger. He turned 24 last month in March. So he and Hooker are 14 months apart, essentially. So you have a guy that spent 5 years in college. He was a freshman in 2018. He signed with Houston when Major Applewhite was the coach, played there 1 year under Major Applewhite. Major was fired. Dana Holgerson was hired in 2019. So the last 4 years, he's played for Holgerson. Of course, De'Aaron King was there at Houston for a minute. And so you got a guy who bounced around a little bit, a guy who, let me not say bounce around. That's not a fair way to say it. He played as a freshman and then was a part-time player a bit and then became a starter each of the last 3 years as well. So in all, he ended up playing in 47 collegiate games. He played a lot of football over 5 years at the University of Houston. 6'3", 220. He's a 3-time team captain, so you have the size, you have the intangibles, the leadership, all that sort of stuff. I'm not a scout, but if you look at the way scouts describe him, the one thing that's a bit of a drawback that they talk about is he's sometimes inaccurate when he has to move his feet. If he's got to throw on the run or if the pressure's coming, that's where the accuracy struggles. I don't know. I'm not a scout. Don't know. Don't care. What I do know is if you're the Saints and you're considering taking a quarterback that would be a stash type player, draft and stash or sign and stash type player, this would be more appealing than Hendon Hooker. And the reason is because with Hooker, again, you're talking about a guy who's already 25 years old. And for context, by the way, Hendon Hooker's 25. So he will be 25 years old as he plays his rookie season. He'll turn 26 in January. Joe Burrow is entering his 4th year in the NFL. Joe Burrow just turned 26 in December. I mean, for context, you're talking about it. That's why it's being brought up so much. Not so much the knee injury for Hendon Hooker, because look, Joe Burrow came back from a devastating knee injury. That's not so much it. It's more so, are you going to draft a player that highly, that's that old, and you know is going to have a shorter shelf life of his career, a shorter time in his prime? I mean, we're talking about Derek Carr, who's in his early 30s, and I certainly feel like his best days are behind him. He's past his prime. I may be wrong, and maybe Derek Carr proves me wrong, and I would love it if he does. I would love it if he goes and looks like an MVP candidate and wins a Super Bowl. But you got to consider for what asset you would have to give up to attain the player, the contract he would be under, and for how long he would be under that contract in which you'd be able to maximize. If you're going to take Hendon Hooker and have to use the 29th pick or the 40th pick of the draft to take Hendon Hooker, I am expecting a greater, more immediate return on that pick. And so if you're going to draft Hendon Hooker and have him sit for at least 2 years behind Derek Carr and then play, then I'm only getting, depending on if he's a first rounder or a second rounder, because then you have the fifth year option, but either way, that 5th year is going to be expensive. Then you're only going to get 2 years on a rookie deal potentially for Hendon Hooker at age 27, 28, which doesn't mean he's not as old at that age, but in signing him potentially to a second contract, you'd be signing him into and potentially past his prime, which makes it much more difficult if you're trying to project there. With a guy like Clayton Tune, and again, I don't know how the Saints value him, but if you're talking about a day 3 draft pick or a potential undrafted free agent, that's much easier to stomach if you like the player who was played in 47 collegiate games, very experienced, like Hendon Hooker, check the box, was a 3-time team captain, good locker room guy, check the box, good arm, good size, all the stuff that you look for, he checks all those boxes. But if you don't have to give up a huge asset, you could theoretically draft and stash this player at 24 and then see where you are in a couple of years and maybe learning under Derek Carr. This is sort of the apprentice, the protege that at 24 you use a day 3 pick on, and then you see at the end of that rookie deal how he looks, and then you're more looking at a scenario like when you signed Drew Brees in free agency, a guy who's in his mid-late 20s, and you're making a decision about the next 4 to 5 years, and it's more palatable than having to sign a quarterback to a 9-figure second contract. But when you're Joe Burrow at 26 years old, or you're Patrick Mahomes at 25 years old, like that is much easier to stomach, to sign that long-term deal with a guy who's still in his prime. So I like the idea of a player like Clayton Tune. What I prefer, of course, as we've talked about, is the Saints going all in on their potential franchise. They're not doing that. They've signed Derek Carr, and because they've signed Derek Carr, it doesn't make a lot of sense to use a high draft pick on a quarterback this year. Now, depending on how the season goes, next year could be a very different conversation. But the idea of someone like Clayton Tune, if that's a player that they value and covet and see upside, if you can get him with a day 3 pick, then all of a sudden that's way easier. You got 2 5th-round picks, you got a 6th-round pick, you got 2 7th-round picks. You have you don't have a 6th-round pick. You have 2 5ths and 2 7ths. You have the opportunity here to take that guy with an asset that's not going to cost you much, and you could potentially watch him grow and develop. So file that one away. We'll keep an eye on it. Clayton Tune from the University of Houston threw for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns this year, played in 47 career games, checks a lot of boxes. The Saints are bringing him in for a formal visit this week, but he's got a lot of those. Saints, Browns, Texans, Giants, Steelers, Bucks, Rams. A lot of interest in a prospect like Clayton Tune. We'll keep you posted. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. 18 locations, their newest location in LaPlace. You can find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com. Remember, if you are looking to buy tires, I mean, your car literally will not ride without tires. Get the best tires on the road. And you can buy those name brand tires a lot of different places. Membership clubs, box stores, other tire stores. But why would you go to other places when you get them the cheapest at Shawbills? Go to ShawbillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab at the top of the page. You can see all of the dealers' specials and promotions that they have going on right now and how you can save. You can also learn more about the Charlie's Dozen that I tell you about. It's their price match guarantee. It's all at Shawbills. ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com. And they are hiring. So if you are looking for a career, if you're a motivated young person looking for a career instead of a job, Shawbills wants to talk to you. Apply in person or online at ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, we are 1 hour away from the start of the LSU Women's Basketball Championship Parade going through the LSU campus. And, of course, the celebration starts at 7 o'clock tonight, which coincidentally is the same time T-Bob and I will be starting Scone and Tea. So if you are not going to the parade, you're looking for something to do tonight, you can always come hang out with me and T over at Oliver Twist on Perkins Road and have a beer, have a cocktail. We'll talk some sports. We'll hang out. Be a good time. We hope to see a lot of y'all there. If you can't join us on site, you can always watch us on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. So exactly how you're watching us right now on YouTube, you can watch me and T-Bob in about 90 minutes from right now from Oliver Twist. All right, let's see. We're not going to break. Oh, we got some Pluckers trivia to get to. So we'll come back. Pluckers trivia. Also, Pell, second of a back-to-back. They peed down their leg last night against a motivated Sacramento team. Can they get back on track tonight against Memphis? Ja Morant. We'll see if we can get an update to see if Ja is going to go tonight or if he's going to sit for Memphis. We'll get to that coming up here right after the break. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about Clegg's Nursery any time of year, but especially during the springtime. They have got full greenhouses busting at the seams with tons of flowers, shipments arriving every single day to keep those greenhouses stacked as so many of you are getting back into your gardens right now as spring is here. Then Saturday morning, was leaving the house early, walked outside, I heard lawnmowers and leaf blowers, and man, it was just, you could tell, it's just springtime. Everything is coming back to life. People are spending time in their yards. You got to see your neighbors again. So have the best looking yard on the whole block, and Clegg's can help make it happen. If you're not sure what to buy or what to plant, if you're not sure what product to use to bring your lawn back to life to get rid of some of those weeds, don't worry. Just ask any of the horticulturists at Clegg's Nursery. They have all the knowledge, know-how, and of course the best selection. It's at Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Buy local, shop local for more than 60 years. Tell them Matt sent you in. The Clegg's Nursery.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, and check out New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and Prairieville or NOLAFlooring.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off new 2022 Jeep Gladiators and $8,000 off new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokees. All new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Clash of the Cooks Jambalaya Showdown is back. Join us on Saturday, April 22nd at the Oshner Medical Complex at The Grove. We've got cooking teams of pros and Joes serving up their best jambalaya and Cajun Creole dishes, all while helping raise dough for local families battling cancer. Bring the whole family for great food, live tunes, and good times. Clash of the Cooks, Jambalaya Showdown, presented by Oshner. Saturday, April 22nd at lunchtime. Help us paddle it forward. For tickets and more information, go to clashofthecooks.com.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They just beat us to a lot of the hustle stats, getting out in transition on us, second chance opportunities, and then the three ball. In their half-court offense, they play fast. They cut, they move, they set screens, they come off, and guys are open because we're in rotation. So it's not a great game for us, and we got to bounce back quick and get ready for tomorrow.
That was Willie Green. Pels lose last night at home to Sacramento. We talked about it yesterday. A little bit of I don't want to say a desperate spot for Sacramento, but it was a bounce-back spot for Sacramento after a really ugly overtime loss to San Antonio. So you really felt like you were going to get Sacramento's best swing. You did, and they kind of embarrassed you on your home floor. But not all is lost for New Orleans. Far from it, as a matter of fact. Second of a back-to-back. Tonight, the Pels will play Memphis, and it looks like no Ja Morant and no Luke Kennard for Memphis. They are both listed as doubtful, as is Xavier Tillman. And this might be even further evidence that Ja Morant might not be playing tonight. Apparently, Ja Morant spent the day in Baton Rouge. Angel Reese put on her social media a video of she and Ja doing the gritty at the LSU basketball facility. So, of course, Ja Morant played for Matt McMahon. And I believe, didn't Matt McMahon pop down to New Orleans for the game, right, whenever they played Memphis? I don't remember if Ja was here, but I think Matt McMahon popped down there to go see Ja whenever Memphis was here earlier in the season. So, anyway, I'm making an assumption, but if Ja Morant earlier today was in Baton Rouge at the LSU facility doing the gritty with Angel Reese and visiting with Matt McMahon, I'm going to go ahead and assume that he's not playing in the ball game tonight. I could be dead wrong. I'm not breaking news here or anything like that. I'm just making an assumption. So, really good chance for the Pels. The line also is Pels -6. So, it's another reason why you could look at it and say, yeah, probably good chance that Ja sits this one out. But they're essentially, Memphis is essentially locked into the 3 seed. Not officially, but it makes sense where some of these guys are teams are going to start resting guys, which is kind of what we talked about last week. And Andrew Lopez spelled this out pretty good as well. So the Pels are expecting to get a Zion update tomorrow. And Andrew was here on the show yesterday. We talked a bit about it. Late last week, was kind of hearing some whispers that they might try to get Zion on the floor Friday against the Knicks. Andrew said yesterday if they do play him, they want to practice him first, so it might be the weekend against Minnesota. Either way, I do think you're going to see Zion in one or both of the last 2 games of the regular season. Lopez also notes that the Grizzlies are likely resting Ja and Kennard tonight. The Pels enter tonight as the number 8 seed. The Knicks, who they'll play on Friday, they're locked into the 5 seed already. They're resting Brunson tonight. They play the Pels on Friday. And then a win tonight against Memphis will lock the Pels into the 9 seed or higher. So you win tonight, you lock up a spot in the play-in. And remember, the goal here is to get at least to the 6th seed so you don't have to fool with the play-in. You're in the postseason. So the Pels will clinch a play-in spot tonight if they're able to beat Memphis. And it looks like Memphis, again, is going to be without Ja, without Kennard. And, right now they're in the 8th seed, and they are a game behind the Clippers, who are in the 6th. So the Clippers and the Lakers are tied at 41 and 38. The Pels a game behind each of them. So got some work to do here, but 3 games to go, and still a lot to play for if you are New Orleans. And all 3 of the games that they're going to play, there's some circumstances where you could look and say New Orleans is playing for a lot, and the teams are playing against aren't. Now, Minnesota is the caveat there, but Minnesota's struggling a bit lately. So they're 5-5 in their last 10. So we'll watch tonight, 7 o'clock tip for the Pels against the Grizzlies. A big one for New Orleans to come out and play better in the second of a back-to-back. All right, we'll get to some Pluckers trivia here in a second. Let me remind you about the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. Remember, all this month, y'all, a limited-time introductory pricing program for Evolve X Body Contouring. This is the latest and greatest technology in non-surgical weight loss and body contouring. You want to target those trouble spots that diet and exercise aren't helping with. This is the way to do it. Evolve X Body Contouring. And this month, this is limited time, just this month as they launch it, limited time introductory pricing. Check it out at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. Okay, Muse, let's do a little trivia, shall we? It is Wednesday. That means it's Pluckers Trivia Night. Sometimes they're themed trivia night. Sometimes it's just general trivia. That would be tonight. 5 rounds. Win Pluckers gift cards. Remember, every team gets to spin the prize wheel. So even if you don't win a round, you can still win Pluckers gift cards. All right, you ready, Muse?
As ready as I'll be, Matt.
You're going 0-3.
Probably.
You are gonna. I'm telling you flatly. I will be very pleasantly surprised if you get 2 of these.
The general trivia is always tougher, obviously, right? It could be anything.
All right, Muse. Here we go. Which Mark Twain novel? Oh, look at that face.
Big reader over here.
Yeah. If it was a question about the Masters par 3 tournament, I'm sure you'd nail it.
Great day.
Which Mark Twain novel was adapted into a silent film in 1921, becoming the first to feature time travel to the past?
Yeah, I have no idea. Time travel to the past in 1921.
Show ends at 6.
Yeah, it does. We'll go with A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
No, it was actually a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Remember, years later, the kid who played Henry Rowan Gardner did A Kid in King Arthur's Court. Remember that?
Yeah.
A little play on that.
Henry Rosenbagger. Yeah.
Gardenhoser. Warm up. You're going in. All right, Muse, you're 0 for 1, as I predicted. Here comes 0 for 2. Although I think this is the one... If you have a chance just to throw a dart, I think this is the one you might get. All right, here we go. Of the 3 main parts of the ant's body, what is the middle section between the head and the abdomen called?
Yeah, we're going over 3. What?
I thought you could throw a dart.
The middle section.
An ant, you know?
Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, okay, so you have the head, right? Obviously. I don't know. Torso.
No. Beck always sits over there and he like wants to lean over. You're always so eager to throw out answers. You know, you're like, when Drew watches Wheel of Fortune, and there's always people in the crowd, and Pat Sajak's always like, shh. You always got those little looky-loos that always want to throw out there. You want to guess? What is it? What is it? Go ahead, Beck.
Thorax.
It is the thorax. How about Beck? Give him a ding. Give him a ding. Give him a ding. Yeah, give him a ding.
I had to get to that. I get to it.
Very good. Very good, Beck. Beck gets a ding. Okay. He must have gone to Catholic High. Yeah, you should have. All right, here we go. Last one, Muse. To avoid going 0 for 3, as I predicted. What word is missing from this Mitch Hedberg joke?
Okay.
This shirt is dry clean only, which means it's blank.
Oh, dirty? I don't know. Wait, what? Let's go. Got to salvage game 3.
You were A&M. You were down 4 in the bottom of the 8th, and you came through.
How about it?
You came through with a 5-run 8th.
How about it?
That was so stupid. I know.
That was like, it?
You could throw, dirty.
Okay.
Yeah, you could throw a dart, man. Oh, Muse, that was great. All right.
That's a terrible joke, but okay.
Well, most jokes are all about context and delivery, right? I mean, it's all setting up the punchline, and then it's the delivery. Anyway, all right. Pluckers trivia tonight. We'll knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back. We'll do a little Otter locks. Otter was 0 for 2 last night, but in fairness, he did get the one that I didn't give out, which was the run scored in the first inning with the Cubs and the Reds, and I forgot to give it out. That was my bad. All right, we'll wrap up with Otter locks next.
AFR.
And lo and behold, my Moscona Lives rundown says right now I get to talk about Pluckers. And I could talk about Pluckers all day long because I love Pluckers. I adore Pluckers. For so many years now, actually since 2007, I've been endorsing Pluckers. The amount of hours I have spent sitting at those bar top tables at the Nicholson location, the amount of days I've done shows at Blue Bonnet and had a ice cold draft beer after my 10-wing combo with fries. If I feel like eating a little healthier, I'll get the giant blue cheese chicken Cobb salad. It is absolutely delicious, but make sure you get the chicken grilled, not fried, obviously. Unless if you want to just say screw it and eat whatever you want. Well, if that's the case. Eat a whole mess of wings. Get the guapo dip. By the way, that's a pro tip. You got to ask for it. Get the guapo dip. Man, it's at Pluckers. Cheese fries are divine. Whatever you want at Pluckers is amazing. Award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV, and tonight, every Wednesday, it's trivia at Pluckers.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off new 2022 Jeep Gladiators and $8,000 off new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokees. All new Bayou automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
Get in and get better at Patient Plus.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green. This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. Before we get to Otter, just a quick reminder. Been telling y'all, if you've not looked it up yet, especially if you're a homeowner, start to educate yourself about fortified roofing. We talk about HUDCO all the time, Louisiana's first certified fortified roofing company. Our legislature is right now, there is a strong movement to make fortified roofing mandated in Louisiana. I'm not going to bore you with all the details of it, but basically the design is, if you do have wind damage, it's to prevent any water damage or interior damage to your home. So learn more. HUDCO is Louisiana's first certified fortified roofing company. A fortified roof can save you as much as 52% on your insurance premiums. It is so worth looking into. Again, from the smallest repair to the largest commercial roof replacement, you need help with your roof, HUDCO's got you anywhere in the state of Louisiana. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Okay, one thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and incomprehensible, the Ott Father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Not great. I don't know what's got more water damage, those picks last night or tonight's card.
Well, you know what? The one winner you gave yesterday, I forgot to give out on air.
Well, that's what I get for running my fat mouth. You know, the gambling gods frown upon that. Trying to do it. But anyway, I mean, it's all, you know, I know one team in the NBA is playing all their players.
Bells.
Yes, but I mean.
Oh, yeah. Lay the six. Lay the six. Sconer locks.
Lay
the six.
There you go. There's one game left in Major League Baseball. Toronto is $1.85 on the road when Manoah got hit pretty hard last time. That's a big number. He attempted to take Kansas City at home. But this is this NBA card. I mean, you know, everybody's quite. Luka and Kyrie are questionable. I mean, the Lakers are playing for everything, and Anthony Davis and LeBron are game time decisions. I mean, it's unbelievable to make this stuff impossible to bet. So we'll give you the hottest golfer, and then we've got more golf picks.
Okay.
But the hottest golfer that they're throwing around, and look, you got 3 single-digit golfers when you're talking about Scheffler, Rory, and Rahm. But the guy that is coming as consistent is Tony Finau. And Finau is, I guess, about 25 to 1, 28 to 1, you know, somewhere in that range. So he's one to look for there. We're going to have more golf picks today, and then our consensus golf picks for the Masters at 6:45 tonight as we put all of our notes together on that, because that is about it, Matt. I mean, take the Kansas City Royals at home tonight. Hey, Are we gonna? The Pelicans gonna bounce back tonight? Tyus Jones, Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson are your 4, your 5 starters. Ja is definitely out, and they've got 3 more game time decisions as well.
Moscona locks. Lay the 6. Got to bounce back. I mean, look, they're playing for everything right now. Zion's coming back in a couple days. Get that update tomorrow. Moscona locks. Lay the 6 with the Pels.
It has not been the most profitable. I'm not saying either way. It's been kind of all over the place. The teams that have to win are playing for something, that are playing full strength. I mean, you just don't know what you're getting from night to night in the NBA right now. So, I mean, you had one game, a team was up 7 points with 10 seconds to go and almost lost. In the Sixers-Celtics game. The Lakers were up 10 with a minute 20 to go at Salt Lake City. They had to go to overtime to win that one. So, and the Dallas Mavericks are, they're making every game like an all-star game, over. I think they're giving up about 160 a game right now. So it's tough. It's tough right now. So
1 minute remaining.
Kansas City Royals coming back a big cross price at home tonight.
All right, Kansas City on the money line or the run line?
Money line.
All right, Kansas City on the money line tonight. Keep an eye on Tony Finau, and I would highly recommend you'll check Otter out for the Consensus Masters picks at 6:45. You'll have a great chance to make some money and turn a profit on the Masters. Make sure you're tuned in there. All right, Otter, where are you tonight, man?
So, seafood and steaks, right on the way on the way home. Come on by and see us on the way home.
I am headed to Oliver Twist for Scone and Tea.
That's right.
But I will absolutely take a rain check. I love Snows. It's a great spot on Airline. You'll go check them out in Gonzales. All right, Otter, have a great show, man. Thank you.
See ya.
All right, we're getting out of here. Muse, Paulie, appreciate it. By the way, if you're not locked in to the Consensus Masters picks, do it. 6:45 tonight on Odd Show. All right, that'll do it for us here. We're getting on down the road. Shout out to Pluckers, as always. T-Bob and I will be over at Oliver Twist. We'll see you there. Have a great night.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. This is actually a fantastic time to go check out their hardy plank and vinyl siding if you haven't done so yet. Everybody knows Relief Windows for windows, obviously. Their doors did exceptional. Really, the great flood of 2016 was the litmus, where they had people who had installed these doors that flooded and didn't warp at all. They come from a composite material, finished in whatever color you want, and they will not warp. I mean, throw them into a pond for 20 years, take them out, hang them back on the hinges. It'll be completely unaffected. But remember, their siding as well. Hardy plank and vinyl siding. This will make your home more efficient. It's fire resistant, so it'll make your home safer as well. Weather resistant, comes finished in your favorite color, so you'll never have to paint it again. Check it out. You got options. It's at Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
There it is. The extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit Dreams Come True, the local organization that grants dreams to Louisiana kids suffering life-threatening illnesses and their families. We've interviewed these incredible kids, and their stories warm our hearts. And none of it would be possible without your help. So we're asking for your support in our effort to making more dreams come true. Each year, our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to